Good evening and welcome to Deakin Stadium, where the hopes and prayers of green and black merge with those of red and black as Monaro, Panthers and West Canberra Wanderers go toe-to-toe for a place in the round of 32. It'll be a new step for both of these clubs, and George Economopoulos and Dom English aim for a place on the national stage for the first time. Facing them is Canberra's most successful Australia Cup coach in Frank Keisha. Keisha has taken the reins in 5 cup matches in the round of 32, winning 3. No one else comes close. Canberra, Croatia, Tigers FC twice, and Gungahlin United have all failed at that stage. Indeed, only one other club other than Canberra Olympic under Keisha has won a cup tie in the round of 32. That was, of course, Tuggeranong United, now of the CPL, who were the first to do so. The first, in fact, and still the only club from the ACT to win an away match at that stage. And they were guided to that by the man to my right here at the gantry, Steve Forshaw. Welcome to the 2022 Australia Cup qualifying final.
Seems to have come around really quickly, doesn't it? Here we are, Cup final in June. Cold, wet, perfect.
Great conditions for football. How have you been, Steve? It's great to be back on the gantry with you again. My notes are very wet because we had a little bit of a downpour before kick-off.
I've been well, thanks, Russ. I hope you're well too, and the family. Really looking forward to tonight's game because we get almost David and Goliath sort of contest. We have one of the form teams from the National Premier League First Division playing against the team that is really struggling to make a fist of it at the bottom of the table. But their cup form has been absolutely outstanding, and they find themselves in the final with a golden opportunity to go, as you say, into the round of 32.
Second versus 8th. 17 points versus 1 point. Literally nothing would suggest that West Canberra Wanderers are going to win this match, other than the fact it's the cup final.
That's right, it's a game over 90 minutes. Not playing for points here, playing for a trophy, and that can make all the difference. Your head tells you that Monaro should win and should win comfortably, but that's not been the story of the cup so far. West Canberra Wanderers took on Canberra, Croatia in the earlier rounds, where everybody, including myself, thought that would be a walk in the park for Canberra, Croatia. Beat them 3-2. Went to play Tuggeranong and from the MPL2 and were taken to extra time before winning it. It's just that sort of competition this year, and both of them showed in the semi-finals that with the similar results, penalties, 3-all draws, extra time, that they both deserve to be here.
It's been incredible, really, when you think about it, because of their run. It was a goal from the 90th minute from Ben Oms from a free kick, which Sam Brown would usually have gobbled up in his sleep, to be honest. He's dropped that win in against Canberra, Croatia at Melrose, and they win 3-2. You mentioned the Tuggeranong game. They were trailing 1-0, could have been 2-0 down, scored a 92nd minute equaliser to force himself over the line and then bossed it in extra time. And, of course, in the semi-finals, Connor Knights have missed 2 penalties inside the first 20 minutes. So sometimes when you're looking at trophies, Steve, and you know this more than anyone, your name's sometimes on it. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you just can't seem to lose.
Certainly, West Canberra Wanderers have used up a fair share of their cup luck this year. But there's no suggestion at all that because you've used some of your luck, that you've used all of it. So if they've got some luck left in the tank, then there's every chance that they can win tonight. I expect Monaro to win. I'm just looking forward to a good, close game, competitive match. And, even in the MPL form, West Canberra Wanderers have shown that they can be competitive against the best sides. You just haven't managed to get across the line.
And that's what we were talking about this morning, and we have a chat off air before matches usually just to discuss what's going on. And we were talking about West Canberra Wanderers and their competitiveness, and perhaps it was no better illustrated than the game at the Riverside, where they kept Monaro Panthers to 0-0 till 2 minutes from time when there was a penalty awarded. Darren Bailey scored it to win it for the home team. Yep. But they were very much in that contest.
And it's been the same in every game. I mean, even as recently as last weekend, where they twice, if I remember correctly, went 2 goals behind. They just kept coming to eventually lose 4-3 and then miss a golden opportunity in the last few minutes to at least get a point.
Yeah, arguably should have got away with at least a point from that one.
But, if they can maintain that level of performance, and it's a big if against a Monaro side that is in red-hot form, who last weekend came off a resounding victory against Belconnen United, then they give themselves a fighter's chance, a fluker's chance, perhaps.
I was looking at the results, and you mentioned after that quarter-final, the 4-1 that they got into extra time, they lost that game to Panthers in the 90th minute. They bossed Gungahlin for 45 minutes in the first half. Gungahlin enclosed, somehow lost that one 3-1, 2 goals just before half-time, took it away. They won that game against O'Connor Knights on penalties. Then they held Canberra Croatia to the 91st minute, and Melrose conceded then. And then, of course, the 4-3 game last week. Well, let's have a look at these two teams, Steve, and go through them before they walk out, because we're 4 minutes from kick-off. Starting with Frank Casey, you saw him walking across the pitch there, and his Monaro Panthers. A tough call for him today, 4-2, 1-3 for them. No Andre Carl, he's not got himself fit after that hefty challenge from Daniel Sparrow. He will be on the bench. Jordan Thurtell in goal. James Wilson and Darren Bailey, the fullbacks. Carl Senior Panthers captain Josh Calabria at central defence. Gabe Cole and Zach McLaren will patrol the area in front of the back four. Emilio Kishta give them the licence to roam in the number 10 role. The front three, Adam Neo will play wide. Nikos Kalfas, the other side, who's been in good goal scoring form, and Kofi Danning, who led the line superbly against Belconnen last week.
It's a strong 11. I mean, it's not... I think, Carl would have been in the side had he been fit. But in Kofi Danning, Adam Neo, they have players that can come in and actually do a job. And as you suggested, Kofi Danning played very, very well against Belconnen last week. So, from back to front, they look strong. It's a good system. They work well within it. Kista is in good form. Kalfas is in good form. And a lot will rest creatively on the shoulders of the two Greek boys. But, they look solid in every line. They look like they can defend in numbers, defend with a compact structure, and when they go forward quickly, so they provide a goal threat. So very, very good starting 11, good side.
Ben Bassasilk on the bench alongside Andre Carl, Jay Selden, Michael Pocci and Adam DiFranceschi are the substitutes for the Panthers. West Canberra Wanderers, well, they've got a very familiar looking feel to their team with one change. Reece Anderson, unavailable, sprained his ankle on Thursday, replaced by Angus Bailey, who only saw his ITC from the Houston Baptist University Huskies clear on Friday afternoon, is thrown in at the deep end. He starts for West Canberra Wanderers. Jacob Wiseman in goal. James Driscoll and Harrison Pallich at fullback. Lachlan Fields and Connor Bill, the central defensive pairing. Shea Thornton, as usual, in the number 6 role, leaving Blaise Vlaslovsky and Jackson Paisler to create further forward. Bo Harvey, who scored a couple of goals last week, and Angus Bailey provide width. Jenna Cerruti, who's been in good form this season, leads the line.
It's as good an 11, I think, apart from Anderson missing, that Wanderers can put out. They got the experience of Wiseman in goal, the two fullbacks. In fact, the whole back four has actually played reasonably well. They've just lost concentration every now and again and either conceded late or have conceded too many. It's going forward that I think that they've had most problems. Maybe they rectified that last week with the 3 goals that they scored against O'Connor Knights. 3 goals in the semi-final. So certainly the capability to score is there, but I think it's around the opposition penalty area and in the attacking part of the pitch that Monaro might just have the edge.
Much like Frank Casey, Dom English and George Economopoulos have had a headache picking his bench. Brandon Taliano, Daniel Grove, Roy Romeo, George Pavesi and substitute keeper Christian Nell get the nod on the substitutes bench. Our match officials tonight, Georgia Girardello is leading the teams out as the referee. Delphina Demoski and Alex Eagleton are the assistants. Scott Boone is the 4th official. Really looking forward to this one. Wanderers in their away kit of white, Panthers in their home kit. The winners, of course, progress to the round of 32.
They do, and it's... the modern game is a squad game, and if you look at the difference between the two benches, it might just be where Monaro find that extra edge because the experience and the quality because Ben Bassasilk, DiFranceschi, both been playing very well for Monaro this season and miss out tonight for one reason or another. But that bench is strong compared to what Wanderers can call on. The formalities take place, a little bit of a handshake, and that should be about as friendly as it gets, I should imagine.
Well, both teams will be keen to bring their A game. Nerves will play a part as well, Steve, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think, the experience that's in the Monaro side they've been in the cup final. They were in it last year, so they've got that experience to draw on. For West Canberra Wanderers, it's a completely new experience. But yes, both sides will have the jitters in the first few minutes. But the team that settles down first gets hold of the ball and just keeps possession, finds those touches that you need, finds those passing accuracies, will obviously go a long way to winning the game.
Good turnout as well from the crowds on the far side. But Panthers fans to the right of your picture, the Wanderers fans to the left. Steve, you were in there. You've been here before. You were in the round of 32 as well. It is a place to be, isn't it?
Oh, if you're going to be in a competition, you want to be in the end of it, that's for sure. But I wasn't in the Tuggeranong camp when they won the cup final. I only took over the season after. But in 1990, for those that are old enough to remember, I was coaching Belconnen when we won the Federation Cup, but it didn't qualify you for anything other than a medal.
Well, moments define seasons, moments define cup qualification, and moments can decide fate. The time has come to find the last team standing. 2 into 1 doesn't go, but which entity will miss out? We'll find out at the end of 90 or possibly even 120 minutes, with a threat of a penalty shootout to determine success looming like the Grim Reaper. All semblance of league form is buried here beneath a tumultuous wave of passion and glory. A match where previous matters little in a competition that's thrown up the outrageous and unpredictable. Results have been surprising, rendering league positions immaterial. It may be nonsense, but it's beautiful nonsense. Will the Wanderers have the necessary dash to progress, or will the Panthers have the bite to succeed? We will find out very shortly. The scene is set. The time is now. One of these teams will go home happy with the glory. One will have to reflect on disappointment. Who will it be? How important is a fast start here, Steve? Or do you think both sides will be easing their way into the contest?
Yeah, look, I think both teams might just be a little bit conservative in the opening few minutes, not wanting to give away early opportunities. And certainly I'm expecting West Canberra Wanderers of the two teams to play on the counter-attack. So I don't expect them to be bombing forward, throwing kitchen sink at Monaro right from the word go. And I think the emphasis must be with Monaro to actually take hold of the game as quickly as possible.
As the rain starts to fall on us here at Deakin Stadium, Darren Bailey with the throw. Emilio Kishta in for McLaren. Bailey's crossfield ball looking towards Calfas, but Driscoll, the former Panther, is in the way. Jackson Paisler battling in midfield. Calfas has come away with it. A game changer on his day, Nikos Calfas. He can certainly make things happen for Monaro. Here he is in the mood early, looking for Danning, and Connor Bill will be able to tidy up.
These are the sort of occasions that the big players really look forward to.
Plenty of subplots to this one. Gabe Cole, a former Wanderer. Jay Selden, a former Wanderer. A couple of former Panthers in the Wanderers 11 as well.
Not unusual for Canberra football, I've got to say, that you come up against former teammates.
Wilson in the side at fullback. I said fullback tonight. Zach McLaren takes over. Wilson again. McLaren.
Sorry, Russ, did Wilson play in last year's cup final, or was he come after that?
He wasn't allowed. It was a week after.
Right.
Josh Calabria did, and by this stage last year he'd scored, unfortunately for the Panthers.
Own goal.
It was in his own net. Adam New couldn't bring that into control, and first touch here for Bailey perhaps, but Darren Bailey against Angus Bailey wins the ball, and he's cleaned out by Lachlan Fields, and an early yellow card for the centre back.
Wow.
Lachlan Fields in the book inside 3 minutes.
I mean, that's a very early yellow card to be given away. I mean, it was very late, and certainly it was a free kick, but Georgie Ghirardello was very quick with the trigger there.
And an early opportunity perhaps for the Panthers win the set piece.
Oh, they're queuing up for it.
Three of them around it. Cole, Kishta and Adam New. Emilio Kishta's pulled rank. I think Josh Calabria's there as well.
I think from a neutral point of view, it would be better if Wanderers didn't concede early.
Kishta with the right, Calabria with the left. The skipper, hands on hips, The Greek midfielder perhaps favourite. It's Kishta over the wall, and it was dipping, but Jacob Wiseman had it covered.
Yeah, good effort, but not enough to trouble Wiseman in goals.
Jacob Wiseman, who had a semi-final to remember for eternity. He saved 2 penalties in the 90 minutes. He saved 1 in the shootout, and then he lashed home the winner against the Knights from the spot.
Forever engraved in the history of West Canberra Wanderers, that performance.
It's got them to their first cup final. This Australia Cup qualifying campaign, of course, they play for the Federation Cup here in Canberra. It is an old school trophy, as Steve mentioned. It's been around for a long, long time, but qualification for this competition has only been in place since 2013, of course. Kishta away from Vlaslovsky, now a race from Paisler, and he's found Adam New here. Flag is up for offside against the left-sided forwards.
Well, certainly Monaro in the early stages have made the better of the starts. I mean, we've only been playing 4 or 5 minutes, but Wanderers very nervous start, and Monaro settled quite quickly.
And they've coughed the ball up straight away there. Driscoll's come in to win it. Jenna Cerruti's first involvement up against Carl Senior, Thornton, and he's been caught there by Senior. Referee waves play on. I wonder if Georgia Girardello will revisit that.
Well, it was no worse than the yellow card we saw before.
And that's what I thought as well, which is why she's probably going to have a chat with Carl Senior. He might be lucky to avoid sanction here. The game's going on behind her back. It does stop for a throw-in eventually. Well, in all 4 quarterfinals, there were 5 goals. In both semi-finals, there were 6. Clearly, we're going to get 7 in round 7. Got 7 last year, 5 of them for the Tigers. And only 2 for the Panthers. Cerruti, formerly of Tuggeranong, finds Paisler. Calabria with a header. Kishta, that little bit of rain before kickoff will make that ball zip across the surface as well.
Yeah, it should make the pitch really quick, and that suits both teams if they use the conditions properly.
Driscoll's got half a yard here to run at Gabe Cole for the Wanderers. Swings it in, Calabria away. Harrison Palic, who scored that injury time equaliser in the quarter-final. Darren Bailey at left back, and East Coast of Scotland will be watching. 8:15 in the morning. Cole finds Danning up against Harrison Palic. Dancing away from him. Scored 2 great goals last week, Kofi Danning.
Yeah, found some form last week, didn't he, in front of goal?
And he's been given time and space to pick a pass here. Couldn't find Zach McLaren. And Palic decides discretion the better part of valour early on.
Well, in terms of conditions, there is a slight breeze blowing, and I think it probably favours just Wanderers, but the pitch is in absolutely perfect condition. And this rain, as you suggest, makes it that a little bit quicker.
Had 90 minutes on it before in the Women's Federation Cup final, won by Canberra Olympic by 2-1 over Belconnen United. First major trophy, or first ever women's trophy, I should say, for Canberra Olympic. Congratulations to Nicole Begg and her players and staff.
Yeah, yes. I mean, once again, you see, even in the women's game in Canberra, you see a lot of players changing clubs and playing against the former clubs, and there was quite a few ex-Belconnen players in the Olympic team.
Calabria's done well there under pressure to find McLaren, who hoiks one over the top, and Kalfas is away here. Nikos Kalfas, first chance perhaps. He's been shepherded wide by Driscoll. Good defending from the fullback, but Kalfas has found the space, and the deflection will take the heat off the shots.
Yeah, Kalfas had the opportunity. I think it was Kistler that got further forward as well. Might have played him in.
Adam New made a great run to the right.
Was it New, was it? Yeah. That's who I'm thinking of, I think.
And Kalfas went alone. Thornton.
But it was telling that they just caught a little bit high up the pitch, West Canberra Wanderers, and a little bit square at the back, and I'm sure that Frank Asia and the boys on the bench will be looking at that and saying that's a way forward.
McLaren away from Paisler, away from Thornton, looking for Kofi Danning. Flag goes up.
A good save
against
anyway.
Kofi Danning. Yeah, Jacob Wiseman wasn't to know, and he denied the forward anyway.
Yeah.
But too easy, the way Zach McLaren eased past a couple in the centre of the park.
It's certainly, the portents aren't good for West Canberra Wanderers.
Vlaslovsky. Here's Angus Bailey. That's a good ball round the back for Jenna Cerruti. He's stayed onside. Finds Blaise Vlaslovsky. It's back again with Cerruti. Vlaslovsky. Bailey up against the tall midfielder, looking to find a way through towards goal, and it's a touch for Jordan Thurtell. But interesting to see, Angus Bailey apparently has been training with his squad for 3 to 4 weeks now. Obviously couldn't play till the June transfer window opened, which was only a couple of days ago. And fortunately, as I said, for the Wanderers, his ITC cleared at 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon.
Fortunately for him, that's for sure. He gets a game in a cup final. Make your debut in a cup final. Not bad.
Wouldn't be many that have done that.
No. And that was a nice involvement there. Little 1-2 and then a pass around the corner. He did really well.
I don't know what part of America he's been in. I don't know where the Southern Baptist University Huskies play, but he's wearing gloves. So I'm assuming it's a bit warmer than here. They are called the Huskies, though, so that would suggest it's cold.
I don't know where the Southern Baptist gives us a clue.
Somewhere in the south. There is Bailey.
Again, working a little 1-2.
McLaren in with Vlaslovsky. Good battle in midfield. Thornton. That ricochets nicely into the path of Bailey, who takes it in superbly. He's got Cerruti making the run again, and he stayed onside once more. Jenna Cerruti. Panthers fans don't agree on the far side. Calabria, though, stops the attack in its tracks. Kishta. It's end-to-end, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh. Back pass.
Chances, or half chances, being created by both sides?
Yeah, certainly West Canberra Wanderers have shown enough to get themselves into reasonable attacking positions, but they haven't yet found that pass or that cross that is causing Monaro any real difficulty. But they've worked their way back into the game after a reasonably shaky start.
The Wanderers won the only previous Cup qualifying tie between the teams. That was a quarter-final in 2018 when they won by 4-2.
They'll be happy with that tonight.
I think they'll be happy with 1-0.
They will indeed.
Any result is what it's about. Winning in style is great, but well, at this stage it's all about winning. Kishta, great feat to get away from one.
No support. Bailey
has to go on his own, Emilio Kishta, and he gets himself a free kick. Harrison Palic.
Yeah. He certainly played for it. May well have been a free kick. George Girardella's in a very good spot, but he certainly made the most of it, and he convinced George Girardella in the end.
Definitely contact, I think, wasn't there?
I think there probably was, yeah.
The free kick, again, within shooting range, perhaps. It'll have to be something decent to beat Jacob Wiseman from this distance, though. Darren Bailey fancies this with the left foot.
It's a long way out.
Gabe Cole against his former team. We wouldn't bet against that. That usually tends to happen. But Bailey placed it. And it might be the left foot of Darren Bailey. We will see. It will be Bailey. It's not. It's a dummy. It's Cole, and it's Wiseman tipping over. Good save, Wiseman. Down his throat, perhaps. Yeah, good pace on the free kick.
One you would expect him to save, but it was well struck. Certainly on target, and it's forced the save to get a corner.
Squally rain has eased.
But the breeze has picked up a little.
You can put the umbrella down there, Steve.
Otherwise, you'd been doing a Mary Poppins.
Bailey with the corner. 4 shirts in the middle to aim for. Nodded away by Vlaslovsky. Bailey up against Kishta. It's going to fall for Calabria. McLaren. Difficult one for Darren Bailey. Did well to keep it in. But Driscoll. The 180 to get away, and Bailey brings him down for the free kick.
See, I wish they'd give cards for things like that. I mean, that was just to stop him getting forward while Bailey was out of position. The card that has been given was a late tackle, but it was around the penalty area when there's an edge of desperation, and that was just cynical.
Saw one given for it in the women's game earlier, Steve. You'd have been pleased to know.
Yeah, for that sort of thing.
For that challenge. Cerruti tries to squeeze this one through. It's going to come here for Vlaslovsky, and he's tested Jordan Thurtell, and on this skiddy surface, not a bad effort.
No. Once again, a save you would expect him to save, straight at him, but worth a poke.
Going back to what you said there, Steve, it was in that exact part of the field as well. It was a breaking up a break, cynical tackle, yellow card.
Oh, well done, referee, if that is the case.
It was Scott Boone, the fourth official, who gave it. That's a free kick as well.
That's 2.
Bit obvious now, Darren Bailey. He's found Angus Bailey.
But that's the second one that Bailey's committed. He was the guilty party on the other side of the park.
Referee has a word. That'll be his last chance, you would feel, Vlaslovsky, before he sees yellow.
Yeah, but the next time he did it, it would have been on a red had you given one already.
Danning held it up nicely. Kishta brings Kalfas into play. Almost got Adam New through the middle there. He made a great run, blindsided Connor Bill. Jackson Paisler picks it up for Wanderers. Bo Harvey.
Yeah, sold a bit short there by Paisler.
Challenge from Wilson. But Harvey not been able to get into it in the early stages.
And they need him to be on the ball today and on his toes. Has proved to be quite a find for them. I think he came from Monaro.
He did. You talk about Gabe Cole, and I was saying about scoring against his former team. Well, there's a player that might be more likely to find the target tonight, Bo Harvey.
Yeah, they certainly need him involved.
Calabria. Kalfas spinning away from his marker up against Harrison Palic. McLaren. Cole. Has a very similar feel, in fact, to that league game we did at the Riverside, where the Panthers bossed possession and the Wanderers tried to hit them on the break. And it was a tight and tense affair, as you would expect this one. Probably going the same way at the moment.
Yeah, not much between the two teams. Certainly Panthers dominating possession, but they haven't created any true openings. And West Canberra Wanderers can be reasonably satisfied with the way that they've started.
Quarter of an hour in. No score. Kalfas, space now for him. He looks in the mood tonight, Nikos Kalfas. A little nibble at him by Connor Bill.
Yeah, they've done well. They've forced him wide. He's now in an area that he really can't hurt them.
When he's overdone it. And James Driscoll sends it forward. Kofi Danning scored in the final last year for Monaro Panthers. They were 2-0 down at the time. Josh Golewski and an own goal from Josh Calabria had given Tigers a 2-0 advantage.
A sloppy in play. Thornton had done really well to sort of cut the pass out, and he'd found Cerruti up front. I think it was Cerruti or Blazowski.
And that's ricocheted off the hill of Connor Beale quite nicely to Zach McLaren, but he couldn't find the killer pass.
Both teams a little bit guilty of that.
Maybe perhaps forcing the issue rather than letting it come.
Give them the benefit of the doubt. We've only played 15 minutes and they're still finding their feet.
Don't mind players trying to force it though, because it makes for a good tempo.
Yeah.
Calabria.
Certainly Wanderers are defending very, very deep. Should be room in midfield for a very competent Monaro trio.
Both sides have been in amongst the goals in the Cup this year as McLaren drives forward. Still going, Zach McLaren. Been a good find, this boy.
Yeah, he's
for
a
the
good
Panthers.
player. Very good player.
Kishta round the corner.
Oh, don't panic.
It's not out of play. Angus Bailey can't keep it down. Wanderers have scored 10 goals in the Cup this season. They've only conceded 6. They only scored 8 in the league, though. The Panthers have managed 11 in their 3 Cup matches and conceded 4. So, and 3 of those are in that semi-final against Canberra Olympic.
Yep.
Calabria, touch from McLaren into the path of New. Adam New lifting it towards the far post. Driscoll away. Paisler will pick it up. Looking for Harvey. Wilson stuck to his task against Bo Harvey manfully in this first 20 minutes. Hasn't given him an inch. And Kalfas, he's been all over the park.
Yeah, he's working really hard. But Paisler has 2 or 3 involvements now where he's under-hit passes. He just needs to get his game head on.
And he's got the quality, hasn't he, Jackson Paisler? In the absence of Ben Obst, injured with that knee injury that he picked up actually at the Riverside, there's an onus on Jackson Paisler to be the man perhaps to create.
Yes, there is. And so far this season, he's actually played quite well. But sometimes the occasion can get the better of them, and he just needs to think about the fact that it's just another game of football at the end of the day.
Quite often in these finals and in these big matches, it's someone who you don't expect that pops up with something special. And
look, we may not be seeing the match winner until the substitutes come on.
Kishner driving through the middle. He had 3 players to his right.
But it was all very narrow, wasn't it? There wasn't a lot of width, and there wasn't any sort of sign of we'll get a combination going in here. And I think Frank Case is just pleading with his front players to actually put themselves in a position where they can work a little 1-2.
Well, watching from a neutral perspective, it has been the Panthers that have dominated possession early on. Nothing really of note to trouble either keeper, though, except for the shot that Wiseman tipped over the bar.
Yeah, one tipped over the bar, and Thurtell at the other end had to deal with a slippery one. But other than that, nothing clear-cut.
And the rain's back as well, you'll be pleased to know, Steve. It's very light, though. You can see it in the floodlights over there. It's a light smattering. It's making reading my notes difficult tonight. Good job I've got this applied knowledge in my brain, isn't it?
It is. I was just thinking that. Because I don't.
Calabria. Darren Bailey forced back to Thurtell. A lot of noise from the benches, as you would expect.
Yeah.
A lot of chat. What they want their players to do. Thornton quick on McLaren. And of course the wet surface will make it a greasy service like that. Nikos Kalfas on cue. Bursting forward here from fullback was Wilson.
Yeah, he was a little bit unlucky. It was a great run. Very, very strong run forward, and he nearly got the reward for effort. But West Canberra Wanderers have just switched to a higher press, and it's bearing some fruit with Monaro just resorting to going a little bit longer through Calabria. It nearly paid off. He wasn't looking for Wilson, but it nearly found him.
Kishner bundled over by Bo Harvey. Another free kick for the Panthers.
And it was, but once again you see getting into that midfield third, and then Wanderers really pressing tight.
Right on halfway. Opportunity to lift it forward. The pattern of the play seems to be that Jenna Cerruti tonight is going to have to do an awful lot of work when the ball comes up to him to hold it up and bring others into play.
Yeah.
But I suspect that George Economopoulos and Dom English would have expected that.
Yes, and I'm sure that the instructions to Cerruti would have been, don't run away from your support, get it under control, hold it up, lay it off, and then make your move forward.
Calabria. Kishner's touch. New finds McLaren. Shooting chance perhaps for McLaren. It's deflected off Danning, and it's forced a superb save from Jacob Wiseman, because that deflection was heading for the bottom corner.
I think he had to change direction, so it's a much better save than what it really looks. Certainly, I think the original shot he had covered, and it was the deflection that made it all that much more difficult.
Half a yard the other way, and we're looking at 1-0 Panthers, I think, because as you said, Wiseman was heading to his right, the ball went to his left, and the goalkeeper carries on from where he left off in the semi-final. Super stuff from Jacob Wiseman. Now he's got to defend this corner. Danning on his toes, 4 other Panthers to aim for. Bailey swings it in towards the far post, and it's pushed onto the bar. It's back from Wilson, and away again. And I think it was Wiseman's fist that pushed it onto the bar.
It was indeed.
McLaren.
You would think that set pieces...
Sorry, Steve. Calabria pulls it back into the area. Kishner back for Kalfas. And it's all a bit too crowded, and away come the Wanderers. And look at the space here. Bo Harvey. He's got Jenna Cerruti and Akers to his right. He's got Driscoll running to his left. Bo Harvey wants to go alone, and it wasn't the best decision.
No, he blew his opportunity there.
What a chance that was.
That's too big.
Chances at both ends. Great save from Wiseman. Pushed it onto his bar. Then Harvey really should have released either Driscoll or Cerruti.
He had players going into good areas and just a little bit greedy there.
Saw his name up in lights, perhaps.
Yeah, and that can happen. But I was going to say that in that last Monaro attack, the set pieces, you would think that with the height that Wanderers have got in their team, they should be able to deal with corners and free kicks that are floated into the box. But they've caused some problems so far, and as you pointed out, it was a great punch from Wiseman that kept it out.
Vicious in-swinging corner from Darren Bailey, asking questions. Height doesn't always equal decent aerial ability, though, does it? I remember, I think it was the Wanderers a couple of years back, had some absolute giants in their team, and Well, I spoke to the coach at the time. I think it was, I can't remember who it was actually at the time, but it said to me, well, none of them can head a ball, so it doesn't matter if they're 6'7".
Oh, no, you've still got to get the forehead on it.
Blaise Blazowski's the tallest man on the field. The number 14 for the Wanderers. You think he's a threat at set pieces. Did score against Canberra, Croatia in that round 3 victory. Or round 4, as I should say. Calabria goes long. Bailey's made a run from left back. Angus Bailey tracking back. Good ball in, Darren Bailey. Good clearance, Lachlan Fields.
Well, certainly, apart from 1 or 2 minor scares, Wanderers have dealt with everything Monaro have thrown at them so far. In the first sort of 25.
It's got a good open feel to it though, Steve, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not a bad game, actually. It's not a bad game. I think Bo Harvey will be looking at the replay later on tonight or tomorrow, and he'll be thinking, my goodness, I've let go an opportunity there.
Yeah, probably the best. Or Driscoll. Saruti, the early ball was clean through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gabe Cole with the latest corner for the Panthers. They're racking them up at the moment. Turning the screw slightly. That one's way too long. Might be recovered. It was covered by Thornton, of all people. Back towards his own goal.
Yeah, not the best clearing header I've ever seen.
But they flood out quickly here. The Wanderers. Again, Thornton. Yeah. This time Fields bails him out. Be all right in the second half if he's heading him in that direction. Kishler's given way too much space again to turn. Not the best ball though. Driscoll's picked it off. And he's away from Kalfas. And gets himself a free kick and a little bit of skill, much to the delight of the Wanderers fans there. And a little snap out, Emilio Kishler.
Brought the crowd to life, didn't it? Beat 1, beat 2, got fouled. Crowd comes roaring into the game.
Paisley was the one that was fouled in the end. But super skill from James Driscoll in a tight space. Good feel to the final. No goals at the moment. 20 minutes to play in the first half. Fields. Palic. He can advance forward. Harrison Palic. Giving himself a fair bit to do here. And Calabria makes sure he doesn't do it. And it's a goal kick.
Yeah, of course it was. Well, it looked like it.
Should have been.
Yeah. I think West Canberra Wanderers are claiming that Calabria got a touch before it went out, but from our angle it looked nailed on, goal kick.
Well, there have been 2 own goals in the last 3 cup finals played. I mentioned Josh Calabria's, the last 3 cup finals played. I mentioned Josh Calabria's in 2020. Back in 2018, Daniel Subasic put through his own net in a 3-2 win for Canberra FC. In between times, there was a goalless draw. Here, the Fog Cup final, when the Tigers won 4-2 on penalties. The game was delayed. I don't know if you remember, Steve. The Fog
yeah.
Rolling in off the hills in a 0-0 draw. That one went to penalties. This one has the potential to do the same. Of course, Vlaslovsky stretching those long legs. Great work from Zach McLaren, though. Just tenacious midfield play. When Thurtell might have got away with one there.
Yeah, it wasn't his best clearance, and there's not much between the 2 teams. They're both just lacking a little bit in the final third. Monaro certainly have got the better of possession and territory, perhaps, but West Canberra Wanderers are not out of this by any stretch.
And then this man on the ball, Jacob Wiseman, they have a goalkeeper in fine form. Well, you can't win a cup final in the opening 20 minutes, but you can surely lose one.
Yep.
And neither side have done that. They're still kept themselves in the contest. We did see something similar last week, though, against Belconnen United at the Riverside, where the Blue Devils held the Panthers for 48 minutes, and then in a devastating 20-minute spell, the Panthers scored 5 times after the break. They have that ability. Palic looks for Saruti. Calabria takes it away from him and found New, and he continues his run. Calabria. Danning, not much in support for Kofi Danning at the moment. He waits for Kishta. Wanderers back in numbers.
Yeah, Calabria did extremely well, didn't he? Came out, broke out from the back 4 and found Danning further up the pitch, but there was very little support, and although they've maintained possession, they've lost 40 or 50 metres in terms of territory.
Patience might be the key.
Yeah.
It was in the league match between the two. And of course, the Panthers were 3-2 down in their cup semi-final after leading 1-0 and 2-1.
Yep. And it was a game of set pieces, one of that.
James Wilson with the equalising goal that night. Knew he's gone too soon again. Criminal looking across the line.
Yes, the coaching staff will not be happy then.
Especially considering they had 4 in that number, and I think the least happy of them all would be James Wilson, who made a 90-metre run to join that attack.
Yep.
Wiseman for the Wanderers as the rain eases off again. It's going to be one of those nights, I think. Harvey getting the pantomime jeers from the former Panthers players up against Wilson, and Wilson brings him down. Little shirt pull, I think. Wanderers have gone early. Paisley, Cerruti, Driscoll, Cerruti again. Could be a handful, Jenna Cerruti. He's a big lad, about 6'2", 6'3". That's swung into the area, and it's going to come all the way through for Angus Bailey, and it's just wide of goal, but the flag is up. Good spot, Steve. I don't think Angus Bailey was to know.
I don't know. He was offside.
We can't tell from our angle.
No.
But it was a bit easy, the way he found himself clear. Darren Bailey had gone wandering infield.
Bailey had gone inside. Calabria misjudged the flight of the cross, the original cross, and Bailey was in an acre of space, unfortunately for Wanderers, in an offside position, but signs of encouragement for the boys in white.
Angus Bailey last played in Canberra back in 2020. He's made 14 NPL appearances, all of them for the Wanderers, before his sojourn over to America. I believe he's back in the country for about 3 months or so, before a new semester back at university. Keeping his eye in and helping out the Wanderers. They've got a bit of work to do in the league. They've got a massive league match next weekend against the Colin United Blue Devils away. But their mind will be set firmly on this one first.
They won't be thinking, it's a great touch.
Vlaslovsky away from Senior. Harvey. Chance for him to drill it across goal, and it wasn't far away. Bailey won't keep it in. And Bo Harvey, well, his ball across the 6-yard box was begging for a white shirt to get on the end of it.
Yeah. Probably needed to be cut back a little bit further. The support players were quite a way behind him, but once again, the more Bo Harvey gets in the game, the more they look like creating something.
Giorgio Girardello is telling John Thirdale to hurry up. I don't think he's time wasting after half an hour.
I'm not sure that it's Monaro that'll be wanting to waste time.
Kalfas up against Palic. Good battle between those two. And
yeah, he sort of faded out of the game a little bit, Kalfas, after a really encouraging start.
Well, he switched flanks, hasn't he? And
he's done that on a couple of occasions.
And he was causing trouble for James Driscoll. Vlaslovsky. We mentioned in commentary before there, Steve, that that's the norm these days for wingers.
Yeah.
And sometimes you wonder if it's just to have another look. You're not getting any joy out of one fullback, and you kind of wonder sometimes, well, position coaches just don't swap the fullbacks around if they're not getting any joy and they've switched sides.
I think it's just that fullbacks are a more specialist position, whereas you want your wingers roaming a little bit across your front three.
Gives them something to think about.
Yeah.
Cole for Calabria. I'm sure he was going to bed last night, Josh Calabria, dreaming about lifting this trophy, banishing perhaps some demons from last year. A few of these Panthers boys were involved at this venue. Kalfas brings it in nicely.
Should have played it.
Well, he's got Danning one side. He's dancing around here, Kalfas, and Danning's peeled away into a nice position here. He's got Zach McLaren inside him, Kofi Danning. Might go himself, Danning, and it wasn't a bad decision, but was always rising over the bar.
Just thought Kalfas had one too many touches. He could have played Neo in on one side, Danning in where he did, and that by the time that the ball had been played in, although Danning was in a decent spot, they'd recovered and got themselves into a good defensive posture.
Well, most of the play's been from right to left. There's very little to choose between the two teams.
Very important stage of the game now as we enter that sort of last 10 or 12 minutes before the half-time break, that both teams don't lose the concentration.
Calabria forwards. Connor Bill's header down. Kishta looks for Adam New out wide. Does well to keep it in, but that stretch allows Connor Bill to recover. Thornton. Carl Senior. Punchy ball forward, looking for Danning on the edge of the box. It's going to fall here for Kishta. Lines it up for McLaren, and that's taken a deflection off the back of Fields.
But they were very, very slow to actually get forward. Then once the ball was cleared, they were still hanging about on the edge of their box, and that gave the, a rather hopeful ball forward a little bit more credence that it should have had.
Yeah, Kofi Danning did incredibly well to bring that down and create the opportunity for McLaren.
It's 3.
Here's Paisler. Vlaslovsky, space.
So I should have gone the same way.
For Vlaslovsky here for Harrison Palic. He's shown too much of that to Darren Bailey.
To get a goal kick, but Bailey caught him late again then in that original challenge. Bailey on Bailey.
You heard the squeal.
Yeah. Bailey on ice at half time.
Mentioned to you, I don't know how good your memory is, Stephen, I come up with these stats all the time, but I mentioned in the game we did at the Riverside, there's been 6 draws in the 20 MPL matches between these two teams, the most drawn fixture in the competition that we have here in Canberra. So this shouldn't be a surprise to most people, although the bookies had Monaro very heavy favourites.
Oh, I should have mentioned they would.
Based obviously on the league table, they don't take these historical things into account. Thornton. Sliding it forward for Harvey. Driscoll on the overlap up against Wilson, and he's sped past Wilson into the area. Carl Senior with the defensive work. Paisler. Here's Harvey again. Burst into life, Bo Harvey, in the last 10-15 minutes. Those boos ringing in his ears, and Bailey rather shanks that one away.
That's... You know how much practice that takes at training? Hey? None.
Well, not his greatest clearance.
No, but, it's not in the back of the net either.
Some players respond well to criticism, and Bo Harvey, well, those boos would just drive him on.
I think so. They seem to be spurring him on. After a quiet start, he's really come into it.
And that's his corner, swung deep into the penalty area. Might find its way to Fields. Difficult one to return, so a corner's probably the best he can hope for here.
Yeah, a little bit of Woden pressure.
West Canberra Wanderers, Steve.
West Canberra Wanderers, I mean.
Formerly Woden Western, formerly Woden Valley, formerly...
Something else.
Something else, probably.
Something else United.
Another corner this side. Angus Bailey tasked with it. Flatter delivery. Darren Bailey with the clearance, and he'll find Kishta all on his lonesome. Yeah. The runners in green and black now arriving, led by Darren Bailey. Kalfas ahead. Bailey inside. It's come off of Thornton.
Poor defending by Wanderers. Should never allow Kishta to get that ball under control. It's 2 against 1, but one bloke stayed 20 metres away.
Kalfas has peeled away. And I think he's gone too early as well. Another offside call.
Something wrong with the lights?
Well, quite a few of them this side have been caught, isn't it? It's all of this near side. Adam New a couple of times. Kalfas as well, all looking across the line. Cole finds New. They only need to get one right, though. Great tackle, Thornton. Driscoll.
Cue the boos.
That was Harvey. Didn't need me to tell you that. Fields. Lachlan Fields again. Connor Bill. Harvey from deep. Driscoll. They've lost out here, and Adam New can take over. He can't force his way through. McLaren. Wilson. You mentioned the substitutes, and it's hard not to mention the 10-goal striker, Andre Carl.
Yeah.
Who might have a say in this later on. Thornton, well, he's too strong for McLaren on that occasion, but Bailey bails him out. Vlaslovsky. It mentions the fact he scored 4 goals in 5 Premier League appearances, 3 starts, 2 off the bench, 3 in the Cup, 3 in the Charity Shield. There's plenty of goals on the bench, to be honest. Jay Selden's there as well. He's got a couple of goals in 3 games. Ben Bassasilk has scored a goal in the Cup and in the League Charity Shield as well. And Adam DeFranceschi, of course, he scored in the Charity Shield, and he got the winner against the Tigers.
He did.
So there's plenty of goals amongst those Panthers substitutes.
Has Ben Bassasilk been injured? Is that why he's not playing? Or is
in and out. He's played 5 starts this season, so hasn't played for the last couple of weeks, I don't think, Ben Bassasilk.
Interesting, because I thought he'd been doing quite well.
Compare that to the bench for the West Canberra Wanderers. There's not one goal between them this season.
No.
Swung into the near post. Harvey gets a flick on, and Bo Harvey, against his former club, puts the underdogs in front. A cute finish at the near post. Game on.
Well, just what the game needed. It was just sort of developing into a lull and just going very quiet when up pops Bo Harvey with a cheeky little back heel, and West Canberra Wanderers looked like going into the half-time break in front. Who'd have thunk?
The boos raised his game, and Bo Harvey can cup his hand to his ear. He has made the difference. Inevitably against his former club.
Yep, it always happens, doesn't it? And again from a set piece.
And it didn't even look that good a corner. But Bo Harvey, I'll take it back if it was a set piece move.
Well, I think
or
it
dangerous
was.
Finish.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was played to the near post. But with all the people on the park that are above 6 foot, and there's quite a few of them, it's the littlest bloke that gets the touch. Great finish, though. Great finish.
Continuing his run of form, Bo Harvey. Scored a poacher's goal against the Knights, and gets a poacher's goal against the Panthers.
Now we'll find out whether the Panthers have got some character.
Well, it's talking about the goals of Carl. They might need them. Vlaslovsky. Here's Angus Bailey. He's suddenly got some space to work into as well. A good run from Harvey. From left to right. Pulls it across the 6-yard box, and well, Wilson needed to be positioned well. Wow.
Amazing what a goal can do to lift your confidence, because suddenly there's a
cup
spring, the spring in the step now of Wanderers.
West Canberra Wanderers FC 1.
I mentioned in the top of the broadcast, it's beautiful nonsense, I call it, because it's so unpredictable. The team with 1 point to their name this season lead the Panthers by a goal to nil, and Gabe Cole is going into the book.
And this is an opportunity to double their lead. I mean, if it goes to 2-0, we are in for a second half.
Panthers have emptied their bench. They're sending the subs out to warm up already. Wanderers subs have been warming up for a while. Maybe just to keep warm. Free kick here. Harvey might fancy it.
I think this is Blaze. I think Blaze is going to try and ping this one in the top corner.
Blaze Vlaslovsky, well, he's placed it as well. He's only scored 1 goal this season. Did get 1 in the Cup as well, 1 league goal. He's over it. It's the little and large show. Harvey and Vlaslovsky. Bo and Blaze, take your pick. Thurtell lining it up. Harvey leaves it for Vlaslovsky, who goes over that wall but straight down the throat of Thurtell.
Who doesn't handle it perfectly, but does enough.
Well, we've got a Cup final now. Neither side have ever won it before. Panthers were beaten in the final last year, of course. Cole went in rather heavily there on Connor Bill.
He's just been booked.
Here they come forward again. Driscoll ghosting through. Wilson away.
Well, you've got to say that they're finishing the first half stronger than a Monaro.
Well, the couple of minutes leading up to the goal, and since afterwards, the Wanderers, the better side on the park.
Yeah.
Harrison Palic to take this throw.
I think
up to the final 2.5 minutes of the first 45.
I think Mr. Cole just dodged one there.
There's been a couple, hasn't there, that may have been.
I mean, it was a rash challenge just after you received a yellow card, and Georgie Ghirardello allowed the game to flow. And you know, we want 11v11 for as long as possible.
Credit to Connor Bill for not making the most of it, to be honest.
But it's definitely reckless.
Couple of minutes left. of the first 45. Harrison Palic with the throw. New sent it forwards. It's Kishta's touch. Finds for Danning. Panthers fans a little quieter now. Cole. Wilson.
Certainly pepped the Wanderers up, that goal. Working a lot harder to close down higher up the pitch. Getting rewards for it.
Mentioned the luck that they've had in their cup run. You look back a moment ago, that deflection from Danning that was heading in the bottom corner, super save from Wiseman. The one that's come back off the top of the crossbar with Wiseman's punch could have gone anywhere. And they score.
Is it luck or good keeping there?
That's good keeping, the first one, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if the punch could have gone anywhere, I think. But you need your moments, and we mentioned it, and it happens.
And you've just got to be good enough to take advantage of any luck that comes your way.
I think I mentioned to you this morning when we were talking, Steve, as a free kick goes the Wanderers' way, that sometimes you talk as a coach and you'll say, I need one moment from my team, just one moment. Find me that moment and we've got half a chance here, and Bo Harvey has done exactly that.
Yeah, and, you know, the game plan was, let's not be rash, let's just see if we can actually keep nice and compact defensively, and if we get an opportunity to catch them on the break or from a set piece, let's see if we can take advantage. And they have. So full credit to the coaching staff, full credit to the players from Wanderers for carrying out the game plan perfectly.
Jackson Paisley with a right-footed free kick into the area. Darren Bailey away. Danning. Kishta. Danning can't get there. Palic too alert for him, and then they've turned it away, but Palic had his heels clipped. And Chase Thornton will be in no rush to take this as we pop up towards the end of the first 45 minutes, and Scott Boone prepares the fourth officials board to tell us how many minutes we've got added on.
Just early signs of some frustration creeping into the Monaro camp.
Swung in by Paisley again. Cerruti was the target this time. We've got 1 minute of added time. Driscoll can't keep it in play. It will be a goal kick, but it would seem, Steve Forshaw, that the Wanderers will go into the break in front.
Yeah, well, look, Monaro, for all their possession, haven't really created enough to say that they warranted a goal. You could argue similarly that Wanderers haven't created a lot either, but they have that goal from the free kick, from the corner, that puts them in front. And to be fair, Monaro have dominated possession, but Wanderers have soaked up the pressure really well. The defensive structures have been spot on.
It's a great ball from Senior to Adam New, looking to end the half on a high. The Panthers, he's pulled it back into a danger area. Jackson Paisley just whacks it anywhere, and that'll do for the Wanderers at this stage.
I don't think we'll see much different in the second half, to tell you the truth. They'll just desperate to hang on to it.
Calabria launches one towards Kalfas. That's come off the heel of Driscoll, and Wiseman's kept it in. Well, he's only kept it in for Adam New, presented the opportunity here for the Panthers, and the header clear from Driscoll.
They can't get it out yet, though.
Cole, we're past the minute added on. We still go. Wilson to deliver into the danger area. Lachlan Fields up and away. McLaren with Angus Bailey and the free kick, and Zach McLaren is going into the book as well, it would seem.
Yes.
Or was it Kishta?
No, I think it was McLaren.
Well, McLaren made the foul, but the card looked like it was aimed at Emilio Kishta. Maybe it was for talk. But McLaren, we're going to say McLaren for the time being. We will double check that for you at some stage.
Yes.
We're well over the time added on now, and
this should be the last, almost the last moments of the first half, but it's been a first half of some interest. Oh.
Okay. Thornton slipped. He's actually kicked that into his own foot.
He did.
But it doesn't matter. It's half time, and Frank Keisha, well, I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the winningest coach in FFA Cup history for Canberra. He's got a team talk at half time here for his team trail. The Wanderers, Steve, are 1-up.
Yeah, and it's not it's not a game where either team can claim that they should be in front or should be behind. It's been very, very even. But the goal that when it came was a very clever back heel from Harvey, who'd grown into the game in the first half. But I think that West Canberra Wanderers walk into the change room absolutely delighted to be in front. but really delighted with the way they've carried out their game plan. Sit deep, keep it tight, catch them on the break, look for little moments as you talked about. Monaro with a mountain to climb and some work to do.
The Australia Cup has a hashtag, the magic of the cup. It's unpredictable, and we're seeing it right here. At half-time here, it's Monaro Panthers 0, West Canberra Wanderers 1. We go again, Steve Forshaw. 45 minutes stand between West Canberra Wanderers and an unlikely place in the FFA Cup, Australia Cup, round of 32. But Monaro Panthers will have something to say about that. They're already out there. Their half-time team talk would have been something to listen to.
Certainly Frank Keisha would not have been happy with the way his team had performed in the first half. You know, aside from the fact that the one goal behind, they just haven't created enough after all the possession that they've had. So I should imagine Frank would have been laying down the law a little bit about getting forward, getting into good areas, moving the ball a little bit quicker, making better decisions and finding the right options. They certainly won't be panicking at half-time. He'll certainly be saying to his team that at 1-0 this game is still there for the taking, but they'll need a good start to the second half, and I'm expecting more of the same from West Canberra Wanderers, where they'll sit nice and compact and look to catch Monaro as they break, and as longer the game goes on, the more opportunities are likely to fall to the Wanderers under those circumstances.
Because I don't think this is going to be dull. 45 minutes of football, potentially more, depending on where we go from here. What we have seen is a goal from Bo Harvey, a cheeky, audacious backheel flick at the near post to beat Jordan Thurtell in the Panthers goal. The goal that divides the two teams as we stand.
And do you think, Russ, that in the round of 32 an A-League club would fancy a trip to Melrose?
Melrose Synthetic?
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's FFA Cup, Australia Cup compliant. But to answer your question, no. There isn't a team in the NPL that fancies a trip to Melrose Synthetic.
I think Melrose Synthetic on a Thursday night.
It would be the old, can he do it at Stoke on a Tuesday? Can he do it at Melrose Synthetic on a Thursday?
Well, they're certainly in the box seat. Monaro, emphasis is on you to actually come out and play. I'm expecting a fast start from the men in green.
We saw how quick and how accurate they can be on the break as well. The Wanderers in the first half. We will now see whether they can add to that goal. Paisley turns away from Cole. Driscoll. Harvey's little flick.
Not as good as his flick for the goal.
It's difficult to state though, Steve. For these players out there now, you know, they'll try and fixate on the game and do their job, but I'm sure there will be more than one or two glances to that scoreboard to our left in the second half. It's just human nature. Oh,
they will be looking at the scoreboard, but not yet. Certainly as it winds down, Monaro will be looking at and trying to slow it down if there's still one behind, and West Canberra Wanderers will be hoping that it speeds up.
Ball over the top for Kalfas, early chance for him at the start of the second 45, fizzes it across, and Adam New wasn't too far away, and a warning shot across the bows of the Wanderers in the early stages.
Yeah, and look, it's they've got to get Kalfas into the game a lot. He started the first half really well and then somewhat faded, but the telling sign from a Frank Keisha point of view there was that only Adam New got into the box after Kalfas had gone forward. That they really need to commit more bodies into goal scoring areas.
There's already Panthers players going through a warm-up, and I think Jay Selden's actually putting his shin pads on. Whether he's just getting them ready just in case, or whether he will be an early change, we will see. McLaren, it's been perhaps the liveliest of the Panthers players. Here's Adam New, Kishler, Cole. Wilson have made the run forward. Cole's forced backwards. Jackson Paisley's pressure did that. Thurtell with a hefty knock down the park. Fields solid in the air.
I'm afraid that sort of ball from Thurtell is going to be manna from heaven for Wanderers.
Jenna Cerruti. He was in the Tuggeranong team that were beaten by Ugali in the quarterfinals last year, Jenna Cerruti. That's deflected in the middle. It's problems for Wilson. He's dealt with it rather well. Paisley's touch. Danning does superbly. McLaren.
Yes, turned the wrong way.
Kalfas. 3 Wanderers shirts around Nikos Kalfas, and he still managed to get away.
He's gone the wrong way. Look at New, Adam New. He's lucky. He's lucky.
Got a free kick for handball, but Adam New was in acres of space on the left.
Had to play him. Had to see him
screaming for it.
Yeah, he had to play him in.
Bailey over this free kick. And what this does do, it's a good handball that for the Wanderers, because it gets everybody back behind the ball.
Good. It's good handball for Kalfas as well, because he butchered an opportunity for them to get forward.
Bailey over the free kick. Cole making the angled run. Calabria making the run on the far post, and he couldn't quite get a stud on it. Stolen round the back, the skipper.
Another half opportunity goes begging, and that's 2 in the first 2 or 3 minutes. Monaro are coming. We have not seen the last of the goals in this game.
Well, that's put the end of that. Wanderers are through. 1-0. Steve Forshaw's giving it the curse. Paisley sliding it through the middle. Angus Bailey, he's made the run here. Darren Bailey with a sliding tackle. Needed to time it to perfection, and did. And not only that, got up to complete the clearance via Gabe Cole. Good defending that.
Yeah, really positive intervention. Oh, excuse me.
Vlaslovsky from Harvey. He's forced Driscoll too far wide. Shout out to the ball kids today, doing the job around the ground for us on a very cold night in the nation's capital. Cold, wet and windy. And a bit miserable if you're a Monaro Panthers persuasion at the moment. Here's Vlaslovsky. It might get even worse. Blaise Vlaslovsky taking aim from range, and it wasn't far away, and it took a deflection via either the boot or did Thurtell get a hand on it?
I'm not sure. I don't think he did. I think the deflection was in front of him, but that was very, very close.
Might have even scraped the paint off the outside of that right
close
post.
Very close too.
Well, the last time they had a corner, they scored.
Yeah.
Bo Harvey's in that position at the near post again. Once bitten, twice shy, I guess, from the Panthers' point of view. They got players in front of him this time.
Certainly haven't got any on the back post, though.
It will be in the delivery. Swung into the 6-yard box, away from Calabria. Palic just lifts it back in. Vlaslovsky's touch, and Harvey's offside.
Monaro, we mentioned it in the semi-final, they'd take a mixture of zonal and man-for-man marking, and it was into Calabria's wheelhouse there, and he got that away with some comfort.
Wanderers have seen off 5 minutes. 40 of them left.
Yeah, give it another 5 or 6, and I think Frank Keisha will be going to his bench.
Harvey.
If things haven't changed.
Great climb from Driscoll.
Who has been, to my mind, the man of the match so far, Driscoll. He's looked very, very good.
Well, we get a vote, Steve, so keep that in mind. Get a vote up in the commentary box for man of the match.
Do we?
We do indeed. Here's McLaren. He's got some space from the throw from Bailey. Couldn't make use of it. Vlaslovsky. Bailey. Palic. Chase for Cerruti. He's got half a yard here on senior. Geno Cerruti. It's been a handful tonight.
He's made great runs. Made some very good runs into the channels.
Bailey stayed forward and he's spread that ball wide for Kalfas to chase. Up against James Driscoll. This is the position that Nikos Kalfas loves, running at defenders. Kalfas, can he create something for the Panthers? The ball in wasn't too bad. Thornton's clearance only finds Cole. Kishta. This is his kind of range. He hasn't lined one up tonight. Kishta. Cole. Kalfas took his eye off it. And the Wanderers recover, and Harvey can scamper away. Vlaslovsky. Big gaps in midfield, Steve, already.
Yep.
And Calabria should be able to cover that quite comfortably. Palic. Plenty of time to pick his pass forward.
Certainly in the early stages of this second half, the game has become a lot more spread than it was. And you see again, Kista bags are in.
Bailey.
Rubbish.
Not great.
That's about the second time he's done that.
I'll tell you what, though, it might stay in. Kalfas is chasing after it, and he's done really well here, Nikos Kalfas. He's forced Driscoll into playing it. Can they get the press on? Connor Bill and Jackson Paisley make sure they don't. That's calmly done. Fields. Vlaslovsky, nicely played by the Wanderers.
Yeah, miles too much space, though.
The bench is going to be emptied in a minute, or at least two. Ben Bassasilk, Jay Selden for the Monaro Panthers. Frank Case has seen enough. Remains to be seen who's coming.
I suspect Adam New might be coming off, and it may well be Danning as well.
McLaren. Thornton with the challenge, Fields forwards. Oof. That's a thumping challenge from Calabria, all ball though. Harvey felt that one. Kalfas. Danning. Tries to squeeze it through, gets lucky with the ricochet, and he's found Adam New. He's onside, and he's got the shot away, but it's taken a deflection. I think it was Palic or Fields, one of the two. Got enough on it to deflect it wide. What a chance.
It was a great chance, but Adam New was just too slow with his getting his shot away, and he certainly had options further left as well. But it needs to be a lot sharper around that penalty area if they're going to get themselves back in it. And at 1-0, of course, it's anybody's game.
They're creating quarter chances.
Yeah, but they're creating more at the start of this second half than they did in the full 45.
Bailey with the corner from where the Wanderers scored, and he's forced a save from Wiseman, who's only punched it up to himself. Cole lays it down, Kalfas drives it in, and Wiseman clutches it gratefully to his chest. Panic from that corner. Had Wiseman worried, didn't it, the way it swung in?
It did. It was not the most convincing piece of goalkeeper that I've seen. I mean, first punch went straight up in the air, and second punch didn't get any real distance on it.
Still, the Panthers wait to make these two changes. Thurtell sends it long, looking for New, who Steve Forshaw thinks might be the one that goes. He had the chance. And as you said, he took too long to get it under control. Credit, though, to the Wanderers' defence, who snuffed it out very quickly. They
did their job as they're supposed to.
Senior. Calabria. Cole. 10 minutes of the second half gone, live in the Australia Cup qualifying final from Deakin Stadium. The underdogs, the unexpected, the side that many felt weren't likely to win, are in front. Bo Harvey's goal, the difference. This man on the ball, the former Panther, who scored plenty of goals for under-23s last year. He's breaking their hearts this year. Angus Bailey.
Who's done very well for his first game. Without being a world beater, he's looked good.
Swung into the penalty area. It was a good ball in as well from Harrison Palic. But all it's done is find Nikos Kalfas, who's taking on Paisler. And he can't force it past Driscoll, who's now got acres of Deakin Stadium within which to run. And he couldn't find the right ball. A few times that's happened from those in white tonight.
Yeah, it's symptomatic of how their season's gone, where they actually do really well coming out of the back third into midfield, but just struggle to create anything of any note in the final third.
Cole to Kishta. They are finding more and more gaps there this time in the second half of the Panthers. And here's Nikos Kalfas. He's got a chance here, Kalfas. He's got thunder in the right foot, and he's been denied by Wiseman. The keeper again at it. He was at it in the semis. He's at it in the final.
Yeah, great opportunity again, but once again, chances being made, not taken. There will come a time in this second half where Frank Keisha will be on the edge of his seat, worried about the number of chances now that are not being put away.
Well, he's tried to get these subs on for about 5 minutes now. Ben Bassasilk and Jay Selden, they've been ready for a long time. Jacob Wiseman stood strong again, though, and
good save.
He has been the man of their cup run, the goalkeeper. Another former Tuggeranong United player made the move to the Wanderers in the summer as part of their rebuilds. Seems to be an annual rebuild for the Wanderers. They tend to lose a lot of players. Here's these changes, Steve.
Yeah.
Ben Bassasilk for Adam New, as you called.
And Kofi Danning
and
as
Jay
well.
Selden for Kofi Danning. What are we going to see here? Kalfas down the middle, perhaps. Selden has got a lot of quality. We saw a wonderful goal in the Charity Shield a long time ago now, but injuries bedeviled his season since then. Be some time for him to make a mark.
Yeah, it looks like Kistas is going to go wide left.
Coming off number 11.
Silk into the middle.
Coming on number 7.
Well, I think Calfas will go to 9.
Yeah, I mean the middle of the park.
Yeah, he'll go into 10, I'd say.
Paisler wanted Cerruti to come short. Senior sends it forward. Calfas wins the header. McLaren against Thornton has been a great contest. Vlaslovsky, Calabria lined that one up a mile away, and Vlaslovsky still comes away with it.
Had the opportunity to play a pass too, and it would have set them away.
Calabria's got a hugely open field this second half. Silk, his first involvement is curtailed by Thornton.
Yeah.
Paisler, lovely dummy, nutmeg I should say, and he's got himself a free kick.
Should be regretting blowing the whistle then, because I think the advantage could have been played, but was a free kick. But Frank Keisha has now rolled the dice a little bit, and he'll be expecting the substitutes to get up to speed really quickly.
Driscoll, the deflection to the near post, it almost fell for Vlaslovsky, might come for Cerruti, does come for Angus Bailey, and he's blazed at the opportunity.
And there goes an opportunity to really put some pressure on Monaro, because it was a free shot. Plenty of time, plenty of space.
Went for power.
Yeah.
The angle was against him. He would needed to give it some welly from there.
Oh, he hit it hard enough, but you want a better accuracy than that, don't you?
Angus Bailey, a bit cross with himself, you can see. Just out of your shot, actually.
Probably for wearing them long tights.
He must be cold. I don't know where he's come from. Tights and gloves. Silk. Nice ball wide. Jay Selden stayed on side here. His first real involvement of the cup final. Silk, the substitutes combine. Wanderers in numbers though. And back with possession. Connor Bill, calm. Paisler. Driscoll. Paisler. Sweeps it crossfield to Palic.
They're doing so well. They're really frustrating Monaro. Their ability to actually keep possession in their own half is something that Monaro just can't deal with.
There's a possibility, Steve, and it's half an hour away and 16 rounds or 14 rounds of football, that West Canberra Wanderers could take part in the Australia Cup as a CPL side next season.
Yeah.
They could well be bottom of the table, 5 points adrift, leading the cup final. You couldn't write this. Paisler, Cerruti.
It's got a Wigan Athletic written all over it, hasn't it?
It does indeed. Vlaslovsky charging forward, and he's been given the opportunity to pick the ball out. Cerruti arriving, couldn't get enough on it.
Oh dear, and should have scored.
Glorious chance for two.
Monaro are in all sorts of problems here.
They bowled it out to themselves. Palic! And he stings the arms of Thurtell, who was right behind it, and it is so open. What a chance for Geno Cerruti.
Had to score. It looked easier to score.
Will they pay for that miss? Harvey. He's off and running again. Carl Senior struggling to get across to the fleet-footed Bo Harvey. He's full of beans. Jackson Paisler never really got over it.
Well, if you're on the Monaro bench at the moment, you'll be tearing your hair out, because Wanderers are coming with a wet sail.
They're coming, the Panthers, with Andre Carl.
And look, they need to do something. They've got to get themselves back into the game, and they're just not doing enough.
Hasn't set foot on a football field since he was upended by Daniel Sparrow against the Tigers a couple of weeks ago. Making this match was unlikely for him, but he might have an impact. Geno Cerruti really should have. Onto that right foot, trying to open up a shooting angle, and all he's done is present it to Ben Silk. McLaren. Calfas, good ball round the back. Selden. Can he take it forward? Finds Kishta. Real chance for Emilio Kishta. Wiseman with him. Kishta still going! Off the line! Lachlan Fields, superbly placed. That's as good as a goal. And Lachlan Fields has kept it out. Incredible stuff.
Well, Cerruti at one end has to score. Kishta, I don't know what he was thinking. He has to score. I mean, this is just, like you were saying, sometimes you just believe your name's on the cup.
Be questioning why he just didn't strike it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe Wiseman did enough to put him off, and certainly the defenders that got in behind him did their job to perfection.
Yeah, Jacob Wiseman stood his ground really well to not only put him off, but to not foul him in that situation. In Lachlan Fields, well, that is as good as a goal from where he's standing. Clears it off the line, keeps the Wanderers lead intact. 27 minutes to play.
But, you know, even when Kister doesn't take the first chance, he's got an opportunity to lay it back and let somebody else score, but decides to go himself. And that's probably the biggest sin.
Inside the final half an hour, and you feel there is still more twists and turns to come. Ball swung into the edge of the area. Carl Senior's volley down. It might come from McLaren. Kishta with him. Zach McLaren looking for a shooting angle. It's back with him again, and Blaise Vlaslovsky this time.
Break. Look at Harvey. Oh, he hasn't found it.
Thornton was looking for him, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Again, perhaps too many touches before the shot. McLaren just couldn't get it away. Bassasilk wide. Kishta. McLaren look for the return ball. It's come for Kalfas. Cole. He tries one from distance and it's dipping, and it wasn't far away from Gabe Cole.
It's a long way out and Wiseman's in a bit of trouble here.
I think he's cramped up, isn't he, when he landed.
But that was, although he hit it sweetly, it was the wrong option. Got to keep playing. You've got to be courageous enough to keep playing and create chances in the penalty area. 30 yards out, you would expect Wiseman in this sort of form to save him.
You talked about name on the cup. I mentioned it earlier in the week. I've been mentioning it all week, the way that they've got here. That one off the line from Lachlan Fields as well. It is quite incredible. Here's a change, and it is an attacking one. Andre Carl on for James Wilson. 10 goals this season, the top scorer for the Panthers in action. Something else for the Wanderers to think about. Well, 3 at the back for the Panthers.
It looks like it, yeah. Maybe 3-4-3.
They've sent on Selden, they've sent on Bassasilk, they've sent on Andre Carl. They may well have sent on the kitchen sink, because it's coming. And the Wanderers, well, we've seen how good they are on the break. They've had chances this half themselves. Jenna Cerruti really could have put this to bed. Paisler looking to deliver something. Senior.
Good ball.
Kishta.
Must play him, yeah.
He's found Kalfas, runners ahead of him. Carl one.
Selden another.
Kalfas going alone. The deflection, and it's going to fall wide for a corner.
I'm afraid it's just too much one-out play. I mean, they're just being a bit greedy. There are better options than the shot.
Coming on number 9, Andre Carl.
A corner kick gave us our goal. A corner kick caused havoc for Jacob Wiseman the last time we were down this end of the park from a set piece.
And there was one in the first half that hit the crossbar, punch onto the crossbar, so maybe it's the way back in.
Darren Bailey to take. Swung into that 6-yard box, and coming in was Carl Senior, and he was a hair's breadth away from getting on the end of that.
He got a touch, but it was just too high.
They're knocking on the door.
They're knocking on the door, but it's still 1-0.
And the Wanderers are going to make a change themselves very shortly. The piece of paper's been handed to Scott Boone, the 4th official. We'll wait and see who it is getting stripped and ready to come. It will be George Pavese. We haven't seen George Pavese this season. He's been injured for most of it. The former Riverina Rhino. Called upon to take his part in the cup final. In the meantime, Bassasilk finds Carl his first involvement.
Selden as free as a bird.
Andre Carl, see how free he moves, Steve. That knock was the bruising. I don't know if you saw it. It was terrible down the back of his leg. I wonder if he is able to get through this one. We will see. George Pavese about to come on. Geno Cerruti, who had that chance to make it 2, is being replaced. Pavese with 19 NPL appearances to his name, 2 goals. I'm sure he will be told, run that line.
Is he a forward?
Well, I think it's where he's going to drop.
I think
Pavese.
This looks like a defensive move to me.
Well, what he does have is bags of energy, and he will harry and hustle and make a nuisance of himself, and that's all they really need.
Well, he's gone
for
like
22
for like.
minutes.
Yeah, he's gone like for like.
Bailey with a long throw. Palic sends it out into the stands, into the Panthers fans. Bailey take 2 with the throw. Looking for Kalfas in the area. Vlaslovsky back there. Kalfas goes down under the challenge. This will be a Panthers free kick.
We're a long way away, but that looked a bit soft, to tell you the truth.
It was a coming together, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Could have gone either way. It's gone the way of those in black and green, and they will feel they need a break. They've got half a half to find a way back into this. A reminder, if they do, we're in for an extra half hour if it stays that way after 90 minutes.
Yep. Which is, thank God it's warm.
Free kick to the Panthers. Numbers in the penalty area. They need to deliver. Swung into the box. Half away. Senior nods it back down. Scrambled in the box. Half shouts for handball. Shot comes into the side netting. It was half a chance for Darren Bailey.
Yeah, if that. I mean, he got on the end of it. He did well to get on the end of it, but very tight angle and very difficult technique to actually get a ball into the back of the net from there. But another half chance, I guess.
Wiseman, who has stood his ground today as well. Pavesi, his first involvement. Runs into Gabe Cole, understandably perhaps a bit rusty, having not played all year.
I don't think you're going to see anything scientific from West Canberra Wanderers.
Breaks for Bo Harvey, who's the match winner at the moment. Paisley away from senior. Driscoll just calms everything down. Connor Bill.
Another
Driscoll steps away. McLaren solid in the tackle. Selden sweeping ball to Kalfas. Numbers in this Panthers attack. Kalfas slips. And Fields can bring it away for the Wanderers.
Too much for trying to be the hero of the night rather than finding somebody in a better spot.
Angus Bailey exchange of passes and he gets his shot away.
Good
and
strike,
it was a fierce one. Thurtell well played.
Yeah, straight at Thurtell, but it was a good break.
Again, when they've moved it quickly, the Panthers, it's looked good, but like you say, they've overdone it in the last third.
Just gets to Kalfas in particular, but not only, and they want too many touches, or they've made up their mind to shoot when there really are better options.
It's edging closer for the West Canberra Wanderers. The most unlikely of cup triumphs. The odds on them winning this at the start of the season would have been up there with Leicester City winning the Premier League back in 2016, you'd think.
Absolutely. I mean, there'd have been good odds on them winning this particular game, I would imagine. Not that I had a look.
Bailey, they've still got work to do though, 20 minutes of it at least. Driscoll, who's been exceptional. Carl tries to get in on Connor Bill. It's broken for Bo Harvey because Bill's challenge was excellent and Selden brings him down, and we'll probably see yellow for that, and I don't see any other outcome, to be honest. Bo Harvey a bit of a lay down for a bit. He'll eat up a few seconds.
He's not going to get up in a hurry, that's for sure. But that was a ridiculously poor challenge. He did him like a dinner.
They've tipped a bit of water into his mouth and he'll make a recovery.
Yes.
On this night, you wonder what's in that water bottle. A wee dram or a shot would certainly warm the cockles.
Irish whiskey.
Well, he has to go off, doesn't he? Oh no, there's a yellow card. Selden got booked.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Free kick for the Wanderers. Connor Bill will take.
But the more the game is interrupted, the more it's stopped and stop-start.
Thornton down the middle.
The more it suits the boys in white.
Thurtell launches it long, looking for a break at the other end.
Not the way to do it.
Bailey, high foot against Angus Bailey. Free kick, Monaro Panthers.
6 and 2 threes, wasn't it, really? Head down, foot up.
You look at moments of the game, we talked about it. Back in the first half, Wiseman saves from the Danning deflection. One off the line from Lachlan Fields. The one off the crossbar from the corner. There's been chances at the other end, don't get me wrong. But the Wanderers, well, you make your own luck.
If they don't get back into it, they'll look at those moments and think, yes, we were a tad unlucky then.
Well, here's a break, Steve. Bo Harvey.
He's the boy you want. Oh, he's put it
he's too far ahead. In the meantime, Ben Bassasilk's been left in a crumpled heap at the other end. Didn't see what happened off the ball there.
No, but I was just going to say, they'll look at those moments and think perhaps we were a bit unlucky, but the tail of the tape is in some of the bad decisions they've made when they've had really good options and have not been able to exploit the opportunities that have presented themselves.
Bassasilk up and moving. Adam Di Franceschi and Michael Potri on the bench up and moving. Both defenders, but both good in the air. Yeah,
but they don't need a defender now, do they? I mean, who do you take off to put them on?
The keeper? You leave yourself exposed for extra time if you do score then. Kishner. Bassasilk. It's come off Giorgio Girardello. That will be a Panthers ball.
You'd think so.
Sense of urgency for the Panthers because we are close to 16 minutes to go. Gabe Cole. Emilio Kishner.
Well, it's been a competition of late goals.
Angus Bailey forward has come off Laszlowski. They brought in Kishner, they brought in Kalfas, they brought in Carl, they brought in Selden for these moments. Looking for a big moment on the big stage. Pavese nicely done that to Bo Harvey, who's had his moments. Will he have another before 90 minutes is up? Blaise Laszlowski.
It's gone the wrong way.
Connor Bill.
It's been outstanding as well.
It's a tough call for player of the match. Always Angus Bailey with a lovely bit of skill. McLaren is going to go long, looking for Selden, who's got all the tricks necessary. Jay Selden. Will he back himself against James Driscoll? He will. Selden trying to trick his way through. Again, perhaps too much.
Yep.
And Driscoll can stretch the legs. That languid, leggy running style from James Driscoll. And he's overrun it, but it's broken for Paisler. There's some tired legs out there at the moment, and we've still got a quarter of an hour to go. Pavese. Laszlowski. Pavese. Driscoll. Up against senior Laszlowski. Thornton. Palic wide.
Good football. Really good football.
Here is Palic. He's cut inside here. We saw him have a strike earlier. It's ricocheted for Harvey on the turn, and Thurtell saves. Didn't quite have the venom required.
No, and straight at the keeper in the end, but well constructed finish with a shot on goal. They'd have been praying for it to go through the legs of the keeper, but Monaro still in it by the skin of their teeth.
They left it late in the semi-final, didn't they? 11 minutes to go when James Wilson made it 3-3.
Yeah. Well, we're getting into that sort of territory now. But we've seen late goals all year from different... I mean, Canberra, Croatia mastered the art of scoring late.
And remember, O'Connor Knight scored in the 95th minute against the Wanderers to force that one into extra time.
Yes, they did.
And the Wanderers conceded in the 91st minute against Canberra, Croatia at Melrose Synthetic.
And in the 1-0 loss to Monaro, it was a late penalty.
The 88th minute, that one, for Darren Bailey.
So we do know that the competition can throw up an odd late goal.
Carl stepping away from one. Selden. Plenty in the box to pick out here. Jay Selden lifts it in, and, well, Wiseman, he's carried it over his own line. They're asking the question. Delfina Domoski was brilliantly placed.
Yes, she was. And straight away said no.
She was right on the line out of your shot there. She could not have been more perfectly placed if you put herself there for that exact moment.
And she was certainly looking for it.
Pavese. Ball in behind the back for Harvey. Calabria's there. And Thurtell will have time to clear. They're asking the questions, the Panthers. They're not getting the answers they want at the moment. The Wanderers Not exactly living on the edge, but that would have been heart in the mouth moment for Wiseman again. He will tell you he had it under control.
Well, he did in the end.
Pavesi penalised. The handball. Just showing a bit of experience there, George Pavesi, wandering away with the ball at his feet. Ticking the time down. The bench is getting angsty. Card coming here for Bo Harvey. The second Wanderer to see yellow this evening. Darren Bailey to take it. Everybody ahead of him except for Josh Calabria and Jordan Thurtell. Most of them in that cluster of players on the edge of the penalty area. Bailey's flat delivery, it's deflected off a Wanderer head. It was Jackson Paisler.
Yep. Well,
I mentioned at the start of the second half they'll be glancing at the scoreboard. I'm sure they're doing it a lot more now.
Yes, they are. There is no doubt about that. And like I said, in response to that particular comment, for one, it'll feel like it's dragging by, and for one, it'll be at light speed.
Gabe Cole with the latest Panthers corner. Bailey, Kalfas, Calabria, Carl, McLaren, they're all in there. It's swung towards the far post, and it's won really well by Lachlan Fields. And we'll go again this side. Darren Bailey's turn.
Got to try something a little bit different. Maybe get something at the near post.
We saw them score off of against Canberra Olympic with a near post corner. Andre Cowell made that run and flicked it in.
Yep.
A bit like Bo Harvey, just a bit higher off the ground. Darren Bailey's turn to take. Everybody eyes right. Bailey to take. Swings it in. Wiseman, again, perhaps not as cleanly as you'd have liked, but enough on it.
Did his job.
Shoveled it behind, really, didn't he?
I mean, they're not really giving the Monaro people in the box a chance to get a head on it. They're miles too close to the keeper, but
almost looking for the mistake.
Yeah, 3 or 4 corners in a row now, and pressure mounts.
Cole, again, it's deep towards the far post. Senior won it back across the 6-yard box and wasn't on target.
No, relieves the pressure.
Yeah, you say every corner's been so close to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it gives him a chance to deal with it, even if he hasn't been all that convincing.
10 minutes remaining. 10 minutes for the Wanderers to hold on.
Brush off the stands at Melrose.
The incredible cup story of this side that can't buy a win in the league continues unless Andre Carl flag up again. Andre Carl penalised. He was offside anyway.
Yeah.
The numerous times they've been called offside, the Panthers tonight. That one perhaps more forgivable because he wasn't looking across the line.
No, he was trying to get through the middle, but just started his run a little early. But once again, well organised at the back.
And every free kick will now take 30 to 40 seconds, and why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The Wanderers in no hurry at all.
My goodness. Win the cup and go down. It would be a hell of a story.
Lachlan Fields. There's been cup shocks throughout Australia this year. It's been the year of the underdog in this qualifying campaign. And we're not far away from getting a major shock here as well. Free kick to the Panthers. Can they find an answer?
Yeah.
Carl Senior swings it forward. Kalfas.
I think that was rather fortunate, but it may work out for him. No.
Driscoll. Pavesi asking too much of James Driscoll, who's done well, and Pavesi's won it back as well. There's only those two in the attack at the moment. Pavesi might have to go on his own.
Bailey doing his best to get forward, but...
And they've left the gap open at the back, maybe. Maybe the door's ajar. Emilio Kishler from Zach McLaren. At full pace, Emilio Kishler. Again, the defence is good. It's McLaren on the overlap. He's forced wide Zach McLaren. He's still going somehow into the area, and it's Blaise Vlaslovsky's long legs that sticks out a right foot and takes it off his toe.
They've just not found the answers, have they? They've got themselves into really good positions and just haven't had the quality.
And now the Wanderers might. It's 3 or 4 on 1
Wrong
and
way.
Pavesi's pass
Wrong way, son.
wasn't good enough. Thurtell forward, long ball, Fields, towering header from the centre-back.
They've gobbled them up all night, haven't they?
The twin towers of Lachlan Fields and Connor Bill, immovable objects.
Been fantastic. Been fantastic. Both fullbacks really good. Middle of the back four, very strong.
Kishta, Kalfas, Kishta, Cole, Selden, Cole, Kishta away from Vlaslovsky, Bassasilk, nice turn away from Shea Thornton, but then rushed the effort.
Dear, oh dear, that's poor decision making.
You mentioned the Panthers bench would be pulling their hair out. We wouldn't have much left by now.
No. You know, they've made a couple of substitutions with Ben Bassasilk and Selden to bring them on to actually make a difference to what was going on, and they really haven't had an impact at all.
Selden's made the challenge there and he seized up when he did it.
They need to create a chance for Carl. I think if they can create one for Carl, they're back in it.
Bailey looking to do just that with the long ball forwards. It's come for Carl. His first touch was heavy. Bo Harvey doing the defensive work. He can only find Joe Selden with his clearance though. Cole, Kishta, plenty of white shirts back, and the pressure from Thornton was enough for the time being. Gabe Cole. We now getting in to squeaky bum time for both teams. Inside 6 minutes.
I think Selden's gone. I think
Ball's
he's
knocked
really
in.
struggling.
Kishta challenges and wins it. Plenty of Panthers in the middle. Can Kishta put a kick out across? Kalfas was his target. It's come for Bailey. It's come for Kalfas. It's come for Bailey. Wiseman denies him. Great stop, Jacob Wiseman again. It's not away yet.
Poor
Kalfas almost squeezed it through for Carl. And Jacob Wiseman stands tall again.
It's been heroic.
You talk about man of the match performances. He has been up there with them.
Yep. Selden is actually struggling with cramp by the looks of it. He's only been on 5 minutes.
Unless he's tweaked a calf muscle. He's not
He
played
may-
for a long time.
He hasn't played for a long time tonight.
And with 5 minutes to go, that chance for Darren Bailey. To be fair, it was very close to the keeper, but the keeper needed to make that. Carl had made the run then and realised he was offside, so checked it. And Carl Senior didn't see the check. Jacob Wiseman will take as long as he can here.
That's ours.
Well, he's found us with it. He's found the stand, and I don't think he really cares.
No.
4.5 minutes. Jackson Pazers taking a seat. Georgia Girardello's not interested. James Driscoll's just lamped it forward, and it's almost a good ball.
I think he was offside. The linesman didn't see it.
Pavesi was on his toes because I don't think he was expecting it. No. Here's Bailey. The Wanderers warming up another sub. Bailey, crossfield ball. Great ball too. He's picked out Selden. He's pulled it back for Kishta in the area. Shooting chance, but he's wasted it again. Couldn't wrap his foot round it. And Emilio Kishta's wasted the opportunity. Brandon Taliano about to come on. Only made one appearance in the NPL this season as a substitute. He's going to come on for Jackson Paisley. Good chance again for Kishta.
Yeah, but it was... he won't be looking at putting that on his highlight reel because the shot in the end was way off target.
I was here last couple of weeks ago against Canberra Olympic last weekend when that same chance fell to Daniel Barach. Left foot, no pace on the ball, just stroked it past the goalkeeper.
Low though.
Kishta went for power.
Yeah, tried to put it in the top corner, and all he had to do was roll it in the bottom one. Mind you, the defender really threw himself at it.
And why wouldn't you? They're 3 minutes away from completing a cup run which will be talked about for a long time in West Canberra Wanderers circles.
Well, across Canberra.
Across Canberra, yeah. Can they finish it? Here's Taliano, the substitute. I beg your pardon, it's Harrison Palic, I think, who's come forward. with the 3 on his back, not the 33. With the silky skills. He's got it back again as well. Pavesi can't bring it in. Bo Harvey goes down under the challenge of McLaren, who got enough of the ball, says the referee. Selden beaten to it by Driscoll. He's been excellent tonight, James Driscoll.
He's been fantastic. Part of a very, very effective back four.
And Jay Selden is in Strugglestown.
I know. Cramp after... How long's he been on?
Didn't see the minute when he came on. It's not been long though. Brandon Taliano helping him out. This will tick the seconds away. 2 minutes.
Get the standard 3 or 4. Injury time.
Well, we'll have the fourth officials board today, so we will know. This will add another 30 or 40 seconds on it.
I'm saying 5 minutes. With the subs. Injury time.
Hands on hips across the park. Shakes and heads of disbelief in both camps for differing reasons.
Yeah, the body language of the men in green is not looking all that positive at the moment, and the time is just enemy number 1.
Coles won it. Bailey sends it forward. Kishta, the challenge from Angus Bailey. It's fallen for Darren Bailey. He's beaten to it by Vlaslovsky, who's caught by Zach McLaren. Free kick Wanderers into the final 60 seconds. And the Wanderers have the destiny of this in their own hands. They are seconds away, plus whatever Scott Boone shows us on his board, from ultimate cup glory. Shay Thornton, I'm sure this is going to go as far into the Panthers half as he can send it.
It's going to go to corners.
Vlaslovsky's turned away. He's got into the box. He's got Pavesi with him. Couldn't seal it. Bassasilk. McLaren under the challenge.
Oh dear. Has McLaren been booked?
I think he might have in the first half. We are into stoppage time.
Oh no, he's got
There's
one.
a yellow card, so that card in the first half must have been for Kishta.
Yeah.
Scott Boone's not put the board up. We don't know how long's left.
Oh, here it goes. Here it goes.
We're into that stoppage time. I'm not sure he's got the call. It's swung into the penalty area. It's come for Kalfas. He couldn't get a touch on it. 3 minutes of time added on. We are already into that. We are already into that 3 minutes. We've almost played 45 seconds of it. Darren Bailey's back chasing. He's back to Thurtell. They're trying to get Adam Di Franceschi on. I'm not sure they're going to have the requisite time to do so. We are Darren Bailey, so Adam Di Franceschi for Jay Selden. Substitute for substitute. Last chance saloon for the Monaro Panthers. Nodded away manfully again by Fields. He has won everything tonight. And the challenge from Brandon Taliano is strong.
It's definitely a Canberra Wanderers throw.
It's gone the way of the Panthers. Calabria.
Got to get it in the box now.
Kishta. It's deep. It's Carl. It's too far. It might be enough.
Minute and a half.
A cup run that began in extraordinary circumstances. That began with a victory over Canberra, Croatia on Melrose Synthetic, with an 89th minute winner from Ben Obst.
Ends at Canberra, Croatia's home stadium with a win in the Australia Cup that could very well see them playing against an A-League side.
They've given away a free kick. McLaren's had a dig. Wants to be careful here, Zach McLaren. Brandon Taliano. Tempers fraying. Time ticking away.
Goalkeeper forward.
Darren Bailey to take. Everybody in the penalty area. Jordan Thurtell as well. This might be it. The Monaro Panthers load the box. The Wanderers hold their breath. somebody's heart will be broken in 30 seconds, possibly with the last kick of the match.
Somebody just got a yellow card too.
The admin's almost academic. It's Bailey into the mixer. There's a big shout. It's fallen for Kishner. It's blocked. It was a strike. I think it was Carl Senior who got it. It's out on the full. One last chance via a Darren Bailey howitzer. He will launch this into the area. Nerves are shredded. Thurtell stayed up. Oh, Bailey's fluffed his lines. But he's going to get the chance to deliver across towards the far post. The header goal for Calabria, and Wiseman saves at the death again.
Unbelievable action in the last few minutes. Wiseman, incredible. He's been like a wall. Impossible to beat him.
This must be it. One final throw of the dice. Darren Bailey with the corner. Into the area. Off the line again. This time Vlaslovsky. Georgia Girardello looks at the watch. We will go one more time. The noise is deafening. Both sets of fans urging their team on. Gabe Cole to deliver. In towards the far post. Calabria wins a header. Thurtell swings a boot at it. Shouts for handball. It's loose. It's in. It's 1-1. Andre Carl from the bench. Mayhem in the Panthers ranks. It's 1-1. Extra time looms large. Would you credit it?
You just couldn't possibly believe it, would you? West Canberra Wanderers could actually touch the cup. They could feel it. And now, extra time. Can they come again?
This extraordinary season, this extraordinary cup competition just keeps giving.
Been a fence.
The fence has collapsed on the far side under the weight of the Panthers. The whistle has gone. Steve Forshaw, incredible ending.
I mean, let's face it, Monaro Panthers have got themselves out of jail and given themselves an opportunity now to actually put things right, because they've been second best for most of the game in terms of creating chances or finishing chances or making good decisions in the final third. They let themselves down and let themselves down badly, and in the end it comes from a set piece after some concerted pressure, and we go to extra time, and you've got to feel for Wanderers because they could touch it.
The desolation on those in white is palpable. You can feel it up here. You can feel it around the ground. Incredible stuff. It's why they brought Andre Carl to the club, the Panthers, for moments like that, and he has paid them in spades.
Absolutely. But I think there's going to be some tired bodies now. I think West Canberra Wanderers, who have given everything, absolutely everything, may just find that the 30 minutes that's left is a bridge too far. But there's some tired boys in green as well. I mean, we saw Selden come on and come off with cramp. They've now got a makeshift centre forward in Di Franceschi, and I'm sure they'll rearrange that as they go into extra time. But you know, the momentum swings now towards Monaro Panthers, and you would expect them to go on and win it from here, which is terribly hard on West Canberra Wanderers, who have been more than making a solid contribution to this particular cup final.
It is barely credible. It is incredible that we are still kicking on here. The Wanderers Cup run, well, they were seconds away from elimination against Tuggerong United in the quarter-final. They scored 2 minutes into stoppage time to force extra time. They were seconds away from the final against the O'Connor Knights. They conceded 5 minutes into stoppage time to send it to extra time, where they won on penalties. They were seconds away from the trophy here. The last kick of the football, in fact. We didn't even restart.
No.
Andre Carl in the roof of the net. How do you lift yourself, Steve?
It's the most difficult thing. I mean, the bottom line is this, though, for West Canberra Wanderers. They had nothing to lose at the start of the game. They've got nothing to lose now. So as long as they've got the energy and they've got the legs, they can go out there and do exactly what they've been doing. And if they can get themselves a chance, who knows? They can still do it. They both teams went through extra time and penalties in the semi-final, so both teams will be used to it. We've got a situation now where late goal swings momentum towards the team that equalises, no doubt about that. But there is a real opportunity still for West Canberra Wanderers to go on and win it. I fancy Monaro from here, I've got to be honest. But absolutely want to congratulate West Canberra Wanderers for the effort that they've put in so far. And they're not gone, are they?
They're not done yet.
No.
The introduction of this global national competition for the round of 32 has given these nights some extra edge. And we are seeing it in absolute bucketfuls tonight. What it meant to the Panthers with the glee with which they scored. Their fans went mad. What it meant to the Wanderers with the heartache that was bitten right there, that moment.
Oh, it's
the ricochet that you talk about, the luck that went for them perhaps in certain areas. That free kick could have gone anywhere. Jordan Thurtell took a massive swing, didn't connect. If he had connected, does it ricochet? You know, and it's all these things you look at it.
Look, if it's
fated, and maybes.
If it's fated to go in, it's going to go in, and that's what happened. I mean, we've said all night that it's a competition that has produced late goals. The whole season in Canberra has been full of late goals, and we've got it again today. I mean, we got a late goal in the first half, if you like. It was just before half-time that West Canberra Wanderers went in front. And now we've got a very, very late equaliser, and it was literally death or glory for Monaro Panthers. When the ball got into the box, everybody was in there, and it was just where it fell, as you suggest, and it fell to Carl unerringly. He slotted it home.
Normally, on a freezing cold night, half an hour of extra football would not be welcome. But tonight, this is very much welcome. This is half an hour to decide the winner. Everything that's gone before is now almost moot. We go again. It's another mini game within the game, and it's anyone's.
Well, it's start again. Whatever happened in the first 90 no longer counts. On we go. But there'll be one or two clubs looking around this game and thinking, my goodness, this is the standard that we have to match.
Whatever happens in this next half an hour, Steve, for both these clubs, they will look at this night as perhaps a defining moment of the season. If the Wanderers do go on and lose this game, having been denied with the last kick of the football, this is the kind of attitude and mindset they need to put into the rest of their Premier League season, because playing like that will get them a lot of points.
Absolutely. They've shown already that they're very competitive. They just need... they need the icebreaker and they need that win to get them on a roll. And at the moment, it's just not coming for them. And perhaps tonight was going to be that night. Certainly, as we go into
it injury, might still be.
It might still be. But I think, that late goal is certainly going to lift the Monaro Panthers to another effort.
Well, here's a big change. Daniel Grove on for Connor Bill in defence, which means Harrison Palic will slot into centre-back alongside Lachlan Fields.
Well, that's a big hole to fill. I mean, that's not tactical. I think that must be injury-related. Here we go.
I said strap yourself in at the start of the second half. I hope you've still got the buckle strapped tightly, because we are off and running again. Half an hour to go. Lachlan Fields, who's been a colossus tonight. Jacob Wiseman, there's names around this park that didn't deserve that last-minute equaliser. This man, well, he's fully recovered from his knock from last week. He is flying, Andre Carl.
It's harsh, isn't it, that...
They've turned it over, Steve. Sorry, into the penalty area. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's harsh that the series of corners that resulted in the equaliser came after a brilliant save from Wiseman, who has been right up there in the man of the match considerations.
There's an old famous football saying, I think it was Alf Ramsey in the 1966 World Cup final, told his team he'd won it once.
Go and win it again.
Exactly that, and perhaps that's the words that Dom English and George Economopoulos have been saying to their team. They had it in the bag. They were so close to glory. Adam DeFranceschi, his first touch, I think that is. When he went on with a minute to play, he would have been dreaming he'd get another 30 minutes. It was unlikely.
Well, he would have been dreaming another 30 minutes or a winner.
Well, 2 in stoppage time. Yeah. This isn't the Champions League final of 1999, Steve.
It's possible, though, isn't it?
And it came in almost the 5th minute of time added on.
I know, after there was only 3 signalled, and it didn't appear to be a lot of it time wasted in that first 3 minutes. But nonetheless, here we are. And, of course, we've got a number of players now on yellow cards, and fatigue might just be a problem when it comes to that sort of defending and winning tackles.
Lachlan Fields with a towering header clear. Bo Harvey, whose goal for such a long time looked like it had won it. Brandon Taliano can't squeeze it past Carl Senior. He's got himself a throw though. Out of your shot in front of us, Angus Bailey's stretching his legs out. There's going to be a bit of this. We're going to see another West Canberra substitute here. Roy Romeo is going to come on. He's only played once this season. Talented player as well. And he's going to come on for Angus Bailey, who, unsurprisingly, his first involvement since returning. And he's done his dash, but it's been a good dash.
I think he's actually done really well. When the first 10 minutes I thought he might have struggled. But then after that, he's played some really good football. He's been an outlet for him on the right-hand side. He's played some nice shots, nice passes. He's had a couple of strikes. All in all, a worthwhile experiment.
Can they lift themselves off the canvas, the Wanderers? Darren Bailey's ball forward. McLaren, who's been a nuisance all night. Kalfas. Carl looking to get in behind. Lachlan Fields. Absolutely immense performance from centre back tonight. Taliano gets the 1-2. Di Franceschi back with him. Just eases him off the ball there. Adam Di Franceschi. And it breaks for Bassasilk. Kindly perhaps. Kishta. Carl lets it run. Kalfas has got in behind here briefly and he's gone down under the challenge. Carl takes over. Andre Carl, corner kick. And there was a shout for a penalty amongst that.
Yeah, there was. Very hard to tell from here whether it was or not, but
it was physical.
It was physical. There was certainly a challenge, but Georgie Ghirardello has been prepared to let a little bit of contact go all night. So, from my point of view, she's made the right decision.
Darren Bailey with the corner kick. Josh Calabria, whose header precipitated that goal-mouth scramble. He's gone forward again. Bailey's delivery. Cole was on the far post. Daniel Grove with the headed clearance. Gabe Cole's turn. And they've had plenty of these this evening, the Panthers.
And they've caused problems all night.
Can Cole find the delivery? Pulls it back for Kishta. Neglected to shoot first time, and now James Driscoll can take this away. And there's lots of white shirts in this attack.
Got to go the other way.
He's going on his own. He's got Thornton with him. He's got Harvey with him. Bo Harvey up against Bassasilk. Grove, the challenge from Gabe Cole. And again, perhaps the wrong option. Shay Thornton had busted guts to get forward.
Had to go left. Took the wrong option. I don't think he looked up enough to see him.
But it's easy from up here, Steve.
I've never made a mistake from up here, apart from being up here when it's cold.
Harvey twisting and turning. He's still going, Bo Harvey. Lucky to force his way through. What a run from Harvey! The whistle has gone, though, for some reason or other. Did he run it out of play?
I think the ball went out, yeah.
Well, there's no sign that this is going to let up anytime soon. Both sides committed to finding the winner. Adam Di Franceschi looking for Kalfas. Slips not for the first time. Harvey. The Boos are back.
Yeah, they scored last time they did that.
Finds Laszlowski. Looking to put it in behind for Grove. Darren Bailey in there. Kishta for Gabe Cole. The run from Carl Senior. Asked a lot of Kalfas. Tempted in Driscoll. Gets away from Driscoll. Kalfas. Past a couple. Still going Kalfas. A wriggling, powerful run from the Greek winger. Can he find the final ball? Half of West Canberra's around him.
Oh dear, I think it's snowing.
It feels cold enough to snow. Darren Bailey is getting some energy into him. One of those, that pickle juice or an energy bar or something.
He's one of the few players on the park that looks like he doesn't need anything like that. He looks like he can run another 90.
There's a few on their last legs. There was a few on their last legs with 10 minutes to play. Goodness knows how they're feeling now.
There was one 10 minutes after he'd been on.
I'm wondering whether Jay Selden actually tweaked something there.
He must have. He must have. Although when they scored, he sprinted 60 metres.
He did, didn't he? It's a remarkable what a shot of adrenaline can do to you. He was amongst the crowd. I hope nobody got hurt, to be fair, amongst that pile-on over on the far side.
Seems to be okay.
Kishta. Andre Karl. Emilio Kishta. Andre Karl again. He's certainly made a difference, not just the goal. Across the 6-yard box. Tired-looking clearance from Driscoll, but effective enough. Brandon Taliano. George Pavese. Two of the substitutes combining. Shea Thornton. Daniel Grove. Calabria with a firm challenge. Kishta. Someone is going to have the defining moment here, be it in the not extra time period or in the penalty shootout. Both sides, one shootouts, remember, to get here.
Shouldn't surprise us that we get to this stage, really, should, given the semi-finals.
And also the historical connotations, which suggest this is the most drawn fixture
Yeah.
ever played in NPL history.
Well, really, that's a seventh after 90 minutes.
Yeah, the one apiece will go down as a draw. Unless someone can snack a winner, or sneak a winner, I should say.
Don't say snack, I'm hungry.
Snack a winner, you're hungry already. There's a crow pack with your name on it in the canteen. Michael Pocci is coming on.
Kishta.
Emilio Kishta, his evening's work is over.
I just think he's run out of legs. He's worked very, very hard. Hasn't worked for him every time, but he's been a significant contributor, and I think you'll look back on the game and think I could have done a little bit better with the chances that might have been created. But all in all, decent performance from Kishta.
That's the benches emptied except for Christian Nell, the sub-goalkeeper for the Wanderers. So the cast in front of us will write the final act of this drama. But we do not know which way it will go.
To the credit, West Canberra Wanderers in this first period of extra time have more than held their own, and it would have been bitterly disappointing. You could have forgiven them for dropping their heads, but they haven't.
Bailey with the header. Palic, it stays in play. Harvey peels off. Harvey stays on side. Thurtell comes a long way out, and calm head of Jordan Thurtell in amongst the crisis.
Yeah.
Let's not downplay his part in that goal. He was up there causing mayhem.
Yeah, no, I mean, his job was to get forward and create chaos, and he did that. I mean, he had a bit of an air swing, and in the end, it goes down as an assist.
He'll tell us he got a stud on it.
He might have done too, you know.
Got a stud on that one. That's fairly flown down the park. McLaren with the header. Fields in again strongly twice. Talk about player of the match, and Lachlan Fields alongside Jacob Wiseman. There's another great header from Fields. Needed to be. Carl was lurking. His name will be in the mix.
I think you know, if you're giving your vote now, it'd have to come from somebody from the Wanderers back four, but there's been a number of good performances, but none better than Fields and Connor Bill and Driscoll. None better.
And the keeper.
And Wiseman, yeah.
Carl, beautiful
touch.
Great turn from Andre Carl to get away from Fields. Not much in support for Andre Carl at the moment, and he's been brought down by Roy Romeo, and it's an acute angle, but one that he might favour. Andre Carl, free kick expert, saw him score a cracker against Canberra Olympic a couple of weeks ago in the league.
Yeah. This will have to be a cracker, especially in the form that Wiseman's in. But you wouldn't put it past him. Oh, he's dead.
He's cramped up as well. He hasn't played for a couple of weeks. That is the leg that was causing him issues, I think.
It certainly is tonight.
It might have been the other one, actually, thinking about it. Trying to remember the pictures I was...
Russ, he's only got two.
I think it was the left leg. I've seen the pictures, but I'm just trying to picture where he was in the picture.
But he was near the dugouts, wasn't he?
Well, he's got some. He's not going to be able to take this free kick now because he's got some treatments.
Yeah.
So, and he's ropeable with his bench for sending the physio on.
I think it was his left leg that he got injured.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But he's not happy because this free kick opportunity, which would have been a shot at goal, is now
Well, he should have
Darren
stayed
Bailey.
on his feet then.
I don't think he wanted the treatment.
No, he didn't. But
Anyway, it's happened now.
yeah, that's right.
Darren Bailey to take. Swings it towards the far post. Di Franceschi was the target. And West Canberra Wanderers, well, is that another moment they'll look at and go, well, if he was on the pitch, does he shoot? He probably does. Not to say he would have scored because Jacob Wiseman has been in great form. Huge roars for handball against Carl Senior from the Wanderers section of the crowd.
I think that's the old, it's bounced up off his foot, not handball, which is, I think, the craziest amendment to the handball rule that I've seen for a long time. You can just about catch it, mate.
Bassa Silk. It seems incongruous that you could do that.
It does.
It seems really weird that you can gain possession of the ball
Yeah.
by flicking it into your own hand.
If you,
Anyway, no harm done, as they say. Great
be
ball
now.
from Thurtell
Oh.
for Bailey. Pochi with him. Daniel Grove did well. Vlaslovsky. Bailey in with a challenge on Blaise Vlaslovsky. Free kick Wanderers. 2.5 minutes to the end of the first half of stoppage time.
Darren
Stoppage
Bailey.
time, extra time.
Extra time, yeah. Darren Bailey has been excellent. But he must have given away half a dozen free kicks and the only one on the park that doesn't get a yellow card.
It's the Scottish charm
Is that what it is?
that keeps him away
It's
from the yellow
the
referee's
brogue.
notebook.
It's his brogue.
Maybe the referee can't understand what he's saying. It's been a great evening though, Steve. The noise has been good, the fans
the
have been
atmosphere,
good. It's
yeah,
been
atmosphere's
a
been good.
proper cup final.
I'm just a little bit worried about what happened over in that fence. I hope nobody was hurt, but it's been a good night.
Didn't see any medics or anybody heading over that way, so that suggests everybody was okay.
Yeah,
Completely unintentional, of course, just the over-exuberance of the fans.
that's all. That's all.
Good job the local press weren't here to photograph that. That would have been a riot.
Yeah, that would have been football hooliganism.
Panthers have a free kick here.
Is it a free kick or no?
I think it is. Or is it a throw now? It is a throw.
Throw from the right, from the right place. Oh, for goodness sake!
Carl Senior, well, we'll be at half time by the time this happens. He's gone long. Harvey with a header. Gabe Cole finds Bassa Silk. Michael Pochi takes his eye off it. Into the final 60 seconds.
Late goals again.
Vlaslovsky in for Harvey, for Pavesi rather. Wrapped his foot around it. The clock here started a bit late. We are into stoppage time at the end of the first half of extra time. George Pavesi couldn't get his foot around it.
I thought Di Franceschi did very well though.
We're going to get 1 minute added on at the end of this.
That was because of that throwing.
McLaren, Calfas down the middle. He's got half a yard here. And he had Bailey outside him, but he couldn't get it past.
But it was the right idea.
Palic was in the way.
So Darren Bailey is now playing left wing with Pochi coming on at left back.
Pavesi stretching himself out as well now. Steve as well, the other substitute. He hasn't played for a long time either. It's just
I know, he's only just come on.
Bailey's header. Calfas.
Switch it. Switch.
He runs into Shea Thornton. Fields helps it away. Taliano brings it forwards. Bo Harvey. Wanderers have committed 5 to this attack. Harvey slides it through. Blaise Vlaslovsky in on goal. It's loose. And Di Franceschi away. Jordan Thurtell, brave goalkeeping.
Brilliant goalkeeping, Thurtell. But it was really the poor touch from Blaise that gave Thurtell the opportunity to come out and keep Monaro Panthers on level terms as we go into the half-time break at extra time. Even game.
Hands on thighs for Blaise Vlaslovsky. He knows what a chance that was. Bo Harvey picked him out.
Great ball.
But Jordan Thurtell, credit where it's due.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper was brave when he needed to be.
But, having conceded so late, when they were almost home and hosed, they have done really well, West Canberra Wanderers, in the first period of extra time, to actually maintain a level of performance that a lot of people would have said they weren't capable of. It's been a fantastically brave effort from West Canberra Wanderers. Monaro, on the other hand, really haven't gone on with it. The momentum swing towards them was immense, but they haven't really gone on with it in that first period. So they've got 15 minutes now to sort it out. And if they can be in the last 32. But this has got penalties written all over it.
Quarter of an hour until the penalty shootout looms large. And who would you fancy from that? Jordan Thurtell, Jacob Wiseman, flip a coin.
Flip a coin, yeah, exactly. But the, late goal, end of first half. Late goal, end of 90 minutes. Pattern is that we'll get a late goal one way or the other before the extra time finishes. And if we do get a late goal, then one team is going to be very, very happy with themselves. At the moment, not a split hair between the two of them.
Both goals have come at this end to our right, the end that the Panthers are attacking. Bo Harvey, 6 minutes before the break. Andre Carl, deep into stoppage time.
And, at the end of that first period, Blaze Blazowski had a golden opportunity to put them back in front, thwarted by the bravery of Jordan Thurtell.
We've talked about moments all season. We've talked about moments during this cup during this cup run. We've talked about moments during this match. Geno Cerruti with a glorious chance for 2-0 puts the game to bed.
Yes.
Opportunities
yes.
come and go.
And realistically, you can't look at the sort of 105 minutes or so that we've had so far and look at the Monaro chances and say, you should have scored, but whereas they should have made it 2-0. Should have made it 2-0, Wanderers.
These are the moments that people look back on in the wee hours of the morning when you can't sleep at 3 a.m. and thinking, what if?
If you are thinking about it, don't ring me, because I'll be held asleep.
Not me personally. What if I'd scored? What if that ball had bounced this way? What if that had bounced that way? Well, it's going to be like that for one of these teams in about quarter of an hour, plus potentially penalties. And you couldn't pick a winner right now. No,
but I said when Carl came on that they need to create a chance for him, and I think they need to do it again.
Well, they created the one indirectly, didn't they?
Yeah, and he was, typical poacher, in the right spot at the right time.
That's towards Carl. He's turned away from Romeo. He's held it up really well.
Yeah, brilliant.
Gabe Cole. Carl Senior. Gabe Cole. Josh Calabria. He must have thought when his header was tipped over the bar that for the second year in a row he'd be having to give a runners-up speech.
Yeah.
But his team's still in it. Unfathomably so. Still can't quite get my head around the fact that with the last kick of the game wins him. We've seen some drama at that end over the years. Saw Canberra Croatia win a title at that end after being 2-1 down with 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. We've seen Thomas James win a league grand final at that end.
It's this stadium. Something about this stadium, the magic of the Deakin Stadium. And certainly, the home team here made a habit of scoring late goals this year.
Bo Harvey is away from Gabe Cole. He's still full of running. Bo Harvey, dangerous ball in. Brandon Italiano saw his name in lights, and he almost found the lights of the house behind the goal.
Yeah, not his best effort, but once again, indications that West Canberra Wanderers are not done with.
Well, it was at this venue, of course, that Frank Keisha had most of his best moments in the Cup with Canberra Olympic. It was here that his team beat Surfers Paradise Apollo. It was here that his team beat Redlands United. It was here that his team beat Green Gully when he was Canberra Olympic coach on the national stage. Kalfas.
Well, you mentioned it earlier on that he's won more Cup games than anybody else in Canberra.
There's only been 4 wins, 3 of them from Frank Keisha, 1 from Steve Forshaw.
No,
ably assisted by Russ Gibbs.
I didn't win it.
No, the round of 32.
Oh, round of 32.
Round of 32 games. I reckon it was my assistants, mate, that got you across the line.
Well, it wasn't me.
Here's Bo Harvey. It's opened up for him. Will he fancy his luck from here? He will. Didn't quite get the power needed.
Ed Groves coming in on the far side too, if you'd have picked him out.
He has been a ball of energy tonight, hasn't he, Bo Harvey? He has caused all sorts of problems.
And he looks like he could go again.
For one of these story clubs, it's going to be around a 32. We mentioned long time ago now, about 7 minutes past 5 after we were on air, that neither of these sides had ever played in the round of 32. Neither of these sides have ever won the Federation Cup in its current guise, of course. Inter Monaro famously won it a couple of times, 3 times I think, in the late 60s, early 70s. That's a ball over the top for Darren Bailey. Wiseman stayed. Bailey's got there. Darren Bailey for the Panthers. Wiseman stayed home. Bailey advanced. The Scottish roar is heard, and the Panthers are in front.
Well, I think everybody in the Northern Lights of Old Aberdeen will be up and screaming now, because Darren Bailey has written his name in history for Monaro Panthers. Wiseman, his first mistake tonight, and if you include the semi-final, his first mistake of judgment, because he should have come and he would have got there. What a finish though. I mean, he gets in behind. I was saying earlier on that he could run another 90 minutes, and he's run 30 or 40 metres to get in behind and slot that away.
The finish of a seasoned centre forward from the left back, and you can hear the cheer as far as Aberdeen in the north of Scotland.
With the Frank Keisha will be saying it was a masterstroke to bring Pochi on and push Bailey further forward onto that left-hand side, and
he is not shy of a goal, Darren Bailey.
No.
That's 10 Premier League goals, rather, I should say. 2 this season, 1 against the Wanderers. He broke their heart. Thurtell away. Free kick given. The Wanderers thought they were getting a penalty. Well, their fans did. I was going to say, Bailey broke their hearts in the league with 2 minutes to spare.
Yep.
He may just have done so again. We still have 10 minutes to play, but Bo Harvey sank to his knees when the goal went in. So did a few Wanderers players.
Yeah, the heads are dropped now. The hearts are broken. But West Canberra Wanderers will be sick of the sight of Darren Bailey.
And they have given their all. And there's still time, of course.
Yeah.
There's 10 minutes of it.
They need to dig deep now, though, into those last remaining pockets of energy and drag something out of the unforeseen.
All rational thinking would say this is done, but this is the cup, and we've seen it so many times this season. Rationale goes out the window, Steve.
Oh, there's no logic to it anymore. Got to keep the heads, though. Both teams keep the heads. They don't want to be going into next week's games with a couple of suspensions.
Zach McLaren takes over in midfield. He's been busy as well. We've got to pick a man of the match, Steve. How are you going to do that?
With some difficulty.
Pochi's forwards. Bailey's goal. You mentioned he was a shout for it before the goal. He might be a shout for it now. He's got the goal. And that's a good ball as well. Thornton Fields comes across. Again, no nonsense defending from Lachlan Fields. Yeah. And all of a sudden it's the Panthers who are taking their time. Turned this on its head.
By the skin of their teeth are they looking at a place in the 32. But it's about going for 90 minutes and longer. It's about being resilient, finding those little extra pockets of energy, and they did. You've got to give them credit. But I do feel sorry for West Canberra Wanderers.
Do not write them off just yet, though. We've done so at our peril throughout this cup run.
I know, but it'll be a comeback of some proportions if they can come back from here.
Pavese looking to do just that, looking for Vlaslovsky. Calabria sends it forward. Bailey goes down under the challenge. No foul there. Fields. They need someone in white to pick them up by the scruff of the neck here. Perhaps Shea Thornton's the man. Roy Romeo. Andre Carl playing as an auxiliary number 6. Ben Bassasilk going through the gears, looking for Kalfas. Lovely ball that. Weighted to the Greek winger. They're not exactly busting a gut to get in support of him.
They're not flooding forward, that's for sure.
Kalfas does well to keep possession and then just presents it rather tamely to Brandon Taliano. Bo Harvey, he still believes. Almost squeezed it past Di Franceschi. Carl just hacks it forwards. Romeo brings it down. Driscoll. Harvey. Driscoll on the overlap. Looking for numbers in the area. Brandon Taliano, shooting chance perhaps. Now there is a shooting chance, and again,
it's a poor
he's
one.
then backwards. Yeah. It opened up for the substitute, and he couldn't take advantage.
No, he was really, he has to hit the target and make a save, make the goalkeeper make a save. But once again, nice bit of football to create the opportunity.
Created the opening for himself superbly well.
Yeah, did really well.
Brandon Taliano.
I think Frank Cage will be looking at Kalfas and saying, what do you think you were doing?
Well, it was neither one nor the other. He could have taken it to the corner, tried to win it, kept possession really well, and then just gave it to Brandon Taliano.
But he brought it back almost to the place where Bassasilk.
Oh, McLaren, Lachlan Fields, went for the ball, didn't get the ball, caught Zach McLaren, the big centre-back. He's already on a yellow card.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any malice intended there. I think he tried to pull out of it, to be honest.
I think if there was contact, it was minimal in the end, but he was very late, wasn't he?
He was committed to it and then knew he wasn't going to get it and tried to pull out of it.
Yeah.
The free kick. Bassasilk goes back to Calabria. Still a bit early for this. 6 minutes to go.
Dangerous play, I think.
Thurtell's hammered it forward. Well won by Harrison Palic. Fields has been brought down by Bailey.
He must go.
Who's on a yellow card. Oh, he's not on a yellow card. No. He's got his yellow card.
Yeah. Very lucky now.
You mentioned that he hadn't had one.
No, he had.
Well, he's got one now.
I think that's his 19th free kick.
He's had plenty of touches tonight.
He's played well.
He's had the critical touch so far. Jacob Wiseman, who one time tonight made perhaps the wrong call. Pavese. Fields cut across the ball. Yeah. Wiseman thought about it, didn't he? He thought about coming, and then he thought he's not going to get there. Still needed finishing from Darren Bailey. And
it was a great finish, but I think if Wiseman is more positive, he gets there, clears with his feet, it goes up somewhere in the stand, and it's still 1-1. But
and it feels somewhat churlish to be placing the blame on the goalkeeper that's kept them in this contest with some wonderful stops. He's kept them in this cup run.
I'm not prepared to be too critical of him because he has played so well.
Not in the slightest. There's still time though for the Wanderers. There's still some hope for their fans who've made the trip here. That's the free kick. Josh Calabria is going to get a card for that as well. Not pretty from the Panthers defender.
He must be one of the few that hasn't been yellow carded.
Well, I've got Calabria, Bailey, McLaren, Cole, Kishler and Selden. That's 6 for the Panthers.
Was Selden not long enough to get a card?
Yeah, he got a card.
Wow. Well, for the rugby tackle, yeah.
Free kick to the Wanderers. Load the penalty area and hope. Thurtell hasn't gone, Palic hasn't gone, everybody else has.
Wiseman.
The delivery needs to be good. Sorry, Wiseman, yeah. The delivery needs to be good. They've got height.
They have. Although they haven't particularly defended set pieces at the other end well.
Thornson's moving, Fields is moving. It's a flat ball in. Pavese couldn't get a touch. Palic. Romeo. Got a name written for a headline, Roy Romeo, hasn't he? Andre Carl will chase this, but Wiseman will get there. It's high, it's hanging. Taliano does extremely well to win it up against Carl Senior. The Panthers' chance are the ones you can hear. They hadn't won a trophy in 20 years before this season. Picked up the Charity Shield at the start of the campaign and are 3 minutes plus stoppage time away from their biggest win in a long time.
Well, certainly a more important win than the Charity Shield, which they won very comfortably, of course.
Bailey, whose goal is the difference. Calfas for McLaren.
An early season double doesn't do your confidence any harm, does it?
They're still in with a shout, of course, of the league. They're 33 points off of Croatia. And a cup win can give you a huge amount of confidence. Calfas can barely move.
Yeah, he's struggling.
He's not chasing that. Normally, that's the ball that Nikos Kalfas would love to chase. With 2.5 minutes to go of extra time, he hasn't got the energy to do it. Vlaslovsky leaps high. Basasilk. Vlaslovsky again. Thumping challenge. Driscoll's
too tired.
Ball forwards. There's Bailey's ball for Kalfas to chase. He's gone on the end of this one. He's cramping up though as he's running. Nikos Kalfas up against Roy Romeo. Can he find some magic? McLaren. Carl will take it to the corner, no doubt. He will look to eat up these seconds, of which there are 120 plus a bit. The Wanderers' dreams hanging by a thread.
So close and yet so far. Cruel game, football. Very cruel game.
Football is a fickle mistress, someone once said.
A pickled what?
A pickled herring. Romeo away. Cole down. Bailey back to his keeper.
If you're in the Monaro Panthers camp, you're not complaining at all.
Shea Thornton.
Poor header, could have controlled it.
Pochi forward. McLaren. Runners outside him. It's Bailey again, still full of running. He'll head to that corner flag. He'll head to the hills if he can.
He's just going to play for bits, isn't he, here?
Thornton comes in. Pochi slides in with the challenge. It was a firm one as well. Carl Senior's going through some calisthenics.
He's just waving a foot.
Stretching it out. Italiano charged down by Andre Carl. His equaliser got us this far. Into the final minute of extra time.
Well, it looks like it's not going to be sorted out by the lottery that is penalties, and we can be grateful for that. The heartbreak is the Wanderers.
We had drama at the end of 90. Are we having drama at the end of 120? 30 seconds between the Panthers and the final. I feel like I've been here before with the West Canberra Wanderers.
They're attacking the wrong end, though. It's at the other end. It's to our right where all the goals have been scored.
Nerves are shredded around the ground.
Oh.
Pavesi's just trying to hook it forward. He can't get hold of it. It's nodded down by Bailey. We have 1 minute of time to go.
I think the officials want to go home.
1 minute of stoppage time. They will implore the referee to blow the whistle now. The ball is with the Panthers.
It'll take an age to get this ball in.
You can hear the whistles around the ground, the crescendo building. Andre Carl bursting away. It's Andre Carl. A third would really seal it. And he's got it in his locker. He's down under the challenge. He wants a penalty. He's given a penalty.
No.
It's all over now. Bar the shouting. A spot kick for the Panthers. Deep into added time. They can seal their passage.
That to me looks incredible. I mean, I know we're a long way away. Referee's in a good spot. But to me, that looks incredibly soft. And it's undeserving of from a Wanderers point of view, that they should lose by 2 goals tonight if the penalty goes in. It's a very, very harsh decision. I'll stand corrected when I see the replay. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But tonight, that's the decision that George Ghirardello appears to have got wrong. Is he going to make that much difference at the end of the day? No.
There's a conference between Bailey and Carl. They both scored tonight. They both want the opportunity for a second. It's the main man who's taken the ball, though, the centre forward with the number 9 on his back. The man whose goal brought us to this moment in extra time. Darren Bailey's strike has made it 2. That broke Wanderers' hearts. Andre Carl to rip them clean out of the body. It's the first time I've seen a penalty with half the opposition and half the team in the other half. It's virtually and probably the last kick of the contest. It's Andre Carl, and he's dinked it in, Panenka style. And the Panthers are going to the round of 32. It's 3-1.
Cheeky finish, but probably befitting a night of pure entertainment, Carl paninkas the ball into the back of the net. Harsh, really harsh on Wanderers that it finishes with them conceding 3. But congratulations, Monaro. You will represent the ACT in the Australia Cup, and I'm sure you'll represent as well.
Nerves of steel from the spots. I'm sure had it been 2-1, it may have been a different outcome with the penalty at the stage if he needed it to win. But Andre Carl shows just why they brought him.
On its way, I thought it was going over.
A dozen goals for the season for the striker. Steve Forshaw, you'll need to give me your player of the match. I need to put it across.
And the game is finished.
It's been a game and a half. It's been so tough on the Wanderers. They don't deserve this. But the Panthers have fought. The Panthers have bitten. The Panthers have roared. They are in the round of 32 for the first time. But boy, were they made to work hard for it.
Yeah, they by the skin of the teeth. I mean, the penalty really was just icing on the cake, I guess. At 2-1 they were going through, but I feel so bad for West Canberra Wanderers, who were so close to causing the massive upset. But in the end, class tells, and Carl comes on, gets that late equaliser. Bailey sticks away the second, and in the end, 3-1.
Man of the match?
Man of the match, I'm going to give it to Darren Bailey.
The Scottish left back. Well, that's one of the votes. There's plenty of others of them over the other side that we don't get to see. But what we have seen is a quite remarkable 120 minutes of football. The denouement for the Cup for this season has really lived up to expectations, Steve.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyable. I mean, we saw 2 tremendous games in the semi-finals that went all the way to penalties after feast of goals in the 90, 120. And tonight we've seen a real battle, a team that was, in everybody's opinion, written off before the game was started. West Canberra Wanderers weren't going to win this game, had no chance. And boy, did they go close. They were brave, courageous. They played some lovely football. They were so close, they were almost having their name engraved on the cup. But in the end, Monaro's perseverance and that little bit of extra quality, certainly, we said right from the beginning that the benches might make the difference. And Carl coming on when he did just proved to be enough to get them into the extra time. And once momentum had swung towards Monaro, it was probably inevitable that they would go on and win it, although they made hard work of it. To the credit, West Canberra Wanderers kept their heads up, fought to the very end. They'll be bitterly disappointed, but they can be extremely proud of the way that they've conducted themselves tonight. And hopefully it translates into some form for them in the NPL.
Thanks very much, Steve Forshaw, for your commentary this evening. Your heart goes out to the West Canberra Wanderers. They were one kick of the football away from the round of 32, only to have their dreams dashed by the right boot of Andre Carl. They led through Bo Harvey 6 minutes before the break. 4 minutes into stoppage time, Carl equalised, and in extra time, goals from Darren Bailey and a Panenka penalty in the last seconds of the match from Carl again has made the final score here in the Australia Cup qualifying final. Monaro Panthers 3, West Canberra Wanderers 1.
No, I'm going to just head off. But it's time and a half, isn't it, for overtime? See you, bud. Well done.
I'll give you a call for next week, mate.
Yeah.
When are you playing? When? Because the Sunday game, I think, I'll have to find out what it is. Saturday? Yeah, I don't know if I'm mad at that one. I'll give you a call anyway. I don't think I'm going. I think I'm going to Connor Derby.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. We'll now continue with the presentation ceremony. What a great game we just witnessed. Fantastic spirit. Both teams played magnificent football. Well done to both teams. The presentation party, I'd like you to welcome, please, first of all, Chris Gardner, CEO of Capital Football. Also, Justin Webb, Director of Capital Football, and Phil Booth, Technical Director of Capital Football. And also, we'd like to thank Canberra Croatia Club for giving us this great ground to play on. So, thank you, Canberra Croatia.
So there was one in this one, there was one in that I bought bed. Yeah. There was one more cord in this one, I think, which is that one that was into the camera. Beautiful. And then I think the rest of it is you, mate. Isn't it?
As I said, it was a great game. We had to have a winner and we had to have runners-up. Fantastic game played by West Canberra Wanderers. Can we have their captain, Connor Bill, come forward, please?
Thanks very much. Finley? Oh, is this your top? Is that your top? Yeah, cool. Thanks, man. Great job. Sorry. Oh, mate, too good.
Thanks, guys. Just like to say massive thank you to Monaro. Well deserved. Just quickly while I'm here, I'd just like to say thank you to all our supporters and everyone that's come out tonight. It was freezing. It shows a lot of character, and these boys played great. Congratulations and enjoy tonight, lads. You deserve it. Round of applause for Monaro. Shane Thornton. Lachlan Fields. Bo Harvey. Georgie. Blaze. Harry. Roy. Angus. Wisey. Danny. Jeno. Brandon. Jimmy. Nathan. Jacko. Christian. Tommy. And Ibby. And coaches Dom and George.
Big hand, please, for West Canberra Wanderers. As a referee, I'm never going to live this down because I needed to give our referees their medals first of all. But tonight history has been made here in Canberra. Not only have we got one, but we've got two female referees in the men's final. I think it's fantastic. Well done to Capital Football. So big hand please for the main referee, Georgia Giardello. Assistant referees, Delphina Demosky. And Alex Eagleton. And fourth official, Scott Boone. Well done, guys and girls. It was a very hard game. Played very well by both teams and the referees team as well. Let's have the captain of Monaro Panthers up. Well done, George. You say a few words and introduce your team.
First of all, I'd like to say a big congratulations to West Wayland today. You really gave us a good game, and I hope we put on a good show for everyone here today. Obviously, you have a young squad, and hopefully your investment today will pay dividends in the future. So all the best, and I know that win is coming in the league if you keep playing like that. So congratulations on a great performance. Next, I'd like to thank the supporters for coming today, especially over here. I know you guys really drove us home in the end, and like a really surreal experience to play in front of you today. So, thank you so much. I'm not going to stand up here all day and thank everyone, but I think the club is in a great direction at the moment. We've created a really good culture here. Everyone loves coming to training, and we're sort of addicted to the process at the moment. So it's a really exciting time to be part of Monaro, and that's just full credit to the committee and everyone involved. So thank you as well. In line with that, there's been a few boys that have stuck around through some very rough times. The big man next to me here today, who would have loved to be out here, wearing the captain's armband, and I was hoping he'd be good for the game because there's no one more deserving to lift that trophy, and there's a few others here today that have stuck around, and so big credit to you guys. This is all what you guys have sort of built over the years, so now we're really getting the dividends of it. Finally, the boys, massive performance today. We believed the whole time this group is amazing. I love you all. It's a great time to be a part of it now, so congratulations boys, celebrate. We'll start with you, Jessica. Are you here? Where's the man? Start you. David Jenkins, Capitano. Seb Woods. Jordan Keisha. Evan Keeble. Paddy Mitchell. Bocci. Michael Bocci. Adam DiFranceschi. Ben Bassett-Silk. Nikos Kalfas, Jimbo Wilson, Kyle Senior, Emilio Kisas, Adam Neal, Jordan Turtel, Jason Sullivan, Gabriel Cole, Coffee Dunning, Zach Mathone, Andre Carlino, Big Darren, Bailey, Ian Worthington, Matty Keisha, Jules, and last but not least, Frankie Keisha. So thank you, Josh Calabria. Just before we make the presentation, hold on, Josh, hold on. We've still got one more presentation to make, and that's for Player of the Match. And this was a unanimous decision. It doesn't often happen that way, unanimous decision, but it was this time by the judges. And it goes to West Canberra Wanderers goalkeeper number 1, Jacob Reitman. Okay, I'd now like to ask Chris Gardner, CEO of Canberra Football, to present the trophy to Monaro Panthers, who will represent the ACT in the Canberra in the Australia Cup. As I said before, Monaro Panthers will now go forward in the Australia Cup to the round 32, which will be drawn very shortly.